Thinking of switching to an electric car but want to know more? Then it's time to discover EV with Kia. Get expert advice about living with an EV at a Kia dealership near you. From charging to the benefits of driving an electric car, we're here at Kia to guide you. Explore our award-winning electric range, including the Kia EV6, the Niro EV, and UK Car of the Year, the Kia EV9. To secure your appointment today, search Discover EV with Kia. Kia, movement that inspires.
Hopefully, you'll be able to hear me. And hopefully, we're live. And with a bit of luck, I might even be able to pull off a show that doesn't crash. But let's not expect too much. Now, before we go any further, I have not looked at any of the events that have gone on. So I'm going to read through them as I'm just finding out, because I went out today in my car And I went out on the bike until the clutch crapped out. It was on the way anyway. The only crapped out actually when I got back. That's another story. So there's been an attack. Okay. I don't know anything about it. So we'll go through it together. And I'll be interested to see what your comments are. And then obviously, if there's people want to ring in about it, we'll do that as well. And also, some of you may be looking at the award behind me, the 100,000 subscribers. Yes, that's not from YouTube. That's from Alan. Alan decided he was pissed off so much at the fact that I didn't get my award, then he went and made me one. So there is my, over that shoulder, 100,000 subscribers. We're now at 100 and some odd now, 100, I don't know how many it is, 112,000 or something. So thank you very much. Great. So thanks, YouTube. Don't worry, we did it ourselves. Anyway, moving on. We're going to see if we can get this channel. We're going out over numerous ones. So we've got Rev on a Rant, Simon Evans is going out on my Facebook page. It's going out on my Twitter. And what's the other one? Probably Man Up as well. Because we can't go out on the main channel. They said, no, ever again are we going out live on there. And it's like, fine, fuck you then. We'll do just as well on here. So there it goes. Well done, Alan, indeed. Big up the Alan. So, right, where are we? I haven't done one of these for a while because, to be honest, I don't want to give it all doom and gloom. There's just way too much doom and gloom, but gives you a lot to chat in the comments, that kind of stuff. So let's go to, which one is it? Yeah. I've had a couple of, or I've fished around for a couple of bits on this. Comes from Twitter. So just bear with a second. Doesn't exist. Oh, they've already banned it. Fancy fucking that. Failed to scan your link, maybe due to an incorrect link or private or whatever. Fuck's sake. Okay, no worries. I'll go back to the source. World News. Let's go back down there. Basically, just like that, we get a call in. Okay, we'll do it in a second. Hello.
Basically. Hello, Simon.
Oh, mate, I can hear me in the background. If you could just turn that live stream down, that'd be great, bud.
Okay, I'm just turning it down a little bit. Yeah. What do you want to hear, really? I'm thinking about the continuing demonstrations in London about the Palestinians. I'm thinking about the...
Right, I can still hear you. You know the live stream, if you pause it, right? Because otherwise you're going to hear you and you're going to hear me and they're going to hear us twice.
Yeah, I'm pausing it down, yeah.
No worries.
What do you think about the Palestinians?
Well,
keeping, you know...
I haven't... I'll be honest. I don't know about you. I've got so fucking depressed with it all lately that I've given it a break for a short while, which is why I haven't been putting out a lot of content. And I nearly didn't go live tonight because... to be honest, it's all a bit, shit, isn't it? And, but I did catch a mate's live stream who was there, but I caught it right at the end. And you could see, just like Hope Not Hate, when they used to get all of their placards, and at the end of it, they just dump them in a pile because little like tidying their room, they weren't very good at that. And somebody would come along who was paid to collect all of these banners and deliver them to the next place where they have an official protest. So yeah, it's been orchestrated, but to be honest, I don't give a fuck about either side, really.
Nor do I. No, nor do I.
To be honest, if they weren't, or if these people didn't have weapons that could affect anybody outside their immediate sphere, right? And if their little row didn't affect us financially on the world stage, I wouldn't give a fuck what they did to each other. Their business, not mine. Don't want to know.
Hey, Simon, I got to laugh at it. Like 50% of the people in that crowd were white people. They've got to be far left people, haven't they? I mean, you got to laugh at them, haven't you? Because they're shouting for the Palestinians. You're thinking,
but these were the same people that 2 years ago were
miles away from us. Why are you shouting for Palestinians?
Because it makes them look good. Well, they think it does. Yeah. Obviously, it doesn't. Yeah. I mean, a couple of years ago, they were shoving up yellow and blue flags outside their house. 2 years prior to that, they were fucking telling you that if you went out, they were going to phone the police on you. And why haven't you had an intervention? So they're the same brainwash. And I don't think we appreciate the term useful idiot enough, right? These people do
Right.
the system's bidding. They are useful idiots. They literally will wield in some sort of fascist dictatorship in the long run, and they'll do it under the auspices of looking good in front of their friends and being all, because these are the same shithouses. I'll give you another example. I was listening to a stream earlier on, a guy called Crinkle, and he'll be on here, right? Somewhere.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when he's straight, he'll say things like,
Right.
"Oh, I've heard you've had your stream taken away and that's bad," and all the rest of it, and he'll big you up. The moment he does a load of crack, all of a sudden you're a cunt, you're a fascist, you're far right, and all the rest of this, and the true colours come out. Now, all of these people that go out, these extreme fucking lefties that go out, they're pretending to be caring, pretending to be loving, and all the rest of it. All they are is a fucking marauding mob of self-centered, narcissistic, egotistical piss flaps that fucking hate everything, including themselves, and want to fucking rule the world.
Yeah.
So, in a nutshell,
one woman there
go
on the sidelines of the Palestinian crowd saying, "Yeah, go on." She must be about 60 years old. Go on, keep going. And then suddenly she started dancing with the crowd. And you think, you stupid woman,
it's
what
a day
are
out
you
for
doing?
them, and they love the cameras on them, and they want to be seen to be looking good and doing virtue. Now, these people look to whatever it is, their own papers, their own left-wing news, the latest thing that they've got to get involved in. And then they literally get in it head first, and they're full on about it. Now, you can go back through history and see this has been repeated. Spain, you can see it was repeated in parts of France, parts of Germany. You know, you can look all over and you'll see that the useful idiots were used by the system to support the narrative that got the system money. All of this stuff over in there at the moment. Let's be honest, the Jews want to expand their land again. They want to take over, and they want to put, well, no, they've already sold some of the drilling rights because our prime minister's fucking Mrs. family have bought 2 billion worth of it, of drilling rights in Gaza. But they also want the Ben Gurion Canal. So what we'll do is we'll twist America's bollocks and the United Nations to back us up, right? And then we'll go and do whatever the fuck we like. And if you have a problem with that, you're an anti-Semite. But if you criticize the other side too much, you're an Islamophobic. So just shut up, pay your taxes, and then, you know, fucking get on board with the latest woke shit until we tell you what next to get on board with, by the way. So, it's just bollocks, isn't it?
Yeah, but Simon, who started this?
What? Who started what?
Well, who started this?
How far back do you want to go? Are we talking about this Israel thing? I mean, when you take the security down,
they went to Israel and killed a load of innocent people, didn't they? And Israel,
I'm going to give you a conspiracy theory you ain't going to like.
We've got to take out Hamas to stop this happening ever again. They're fed up with it.
Right. Listen, do you really think that Israel, right, didn't know that this was happening? Right. Don't be fooled by Israel pretending to care about its own people. It doesn't give two fucks. Remember when we were 2 up on the medical intervention, they were already 4 up. All right. Okay.
Right. Okay.
Benjamin Netanyahu, right? That fucking lunatic is all about expansion, right? And he will use his own people, right? There have been times in history, I got to watch what I say here, that Jews have let other Jews down. That's about as strong as I can go. All right. Now, so basically, if, say, for instance, a load of Jews get wiped out, right, that's a bad thing. Okay. But if they can use it now to expand Israel massively, right, then it's collateral. Right. Now, if you think that they've got Mossad, right, Israel, they've got that dome shit, they've got everything. They know everything about everything. But shortly before this event actually happened, they pulled security in, they de-armed a load of people, and they would have known this thing was coming, right? It's not. They knew
it was coming.
They'd have known it was coming, right? But how the fuck do you start a war with people who you want to steal their land unless they do something to provoke that? It's called a false flag.
Okay.
But it's a false flag where innocent people got killed.
Right. So you're saying that Israel knew it was coming, let it happen?
Allegedly. Because I can't say 100%, but just imagine, never let a good crisis or fucking a terrorist situation go to waste. Now,
Okay. That sounds. That sounds pretty plausible. Yeah.
And and now they'll
They
keep going.
I suppose that you could say that they knew it was going to happen, let it happen, and then we can do what we're doing now in Gaza.
Well, if they had just walked over the border and said we're having Gaza, the entire planet would have lost their shit, right?
Yeah.
So you need something to happen.
Yeah. That sounds good.
And don't forget, like the Arabs over there, right? Muslims hate Jews, right? They just do, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Muslims they're not particularly fussy about who they hate. They hate equally. So they're not racist or prejudiced. They just hate every country, including their own, right? Yeah. So that's the problem, right? Now, any chance they'll get, or if they see a weak point, right? Or if they had intelligence saying there is a weak point, they'll take it. Don't forget, if you're an Islamist extremist that jumps over the border and goes into Israel and gets wiped out, you're getting your virgins as far as you're concerned. Happy days. Right? Because they're fucking indoctrinated by pillocks above them anyway. Go on, get into it, son. You get your virgins. Really? Yeah. So both sides, right, are led by people who know a lot more than they give off and send people to their death.
Yeah. Even Jews say they live again, don't they?
Do you know what? I'm not too clued up on them.
I think Jews say if they die, they live again or something like that. Nothing like Christians. I think they have something like that.
Well, you know, when you say that you're the chosen one, it's quite an impressive statement, isn't it? And that's a set of arrogance as well. However, apparently, there was a guy on YouTube, Paul Rimmer, who's gone through the Bible lately and other things and said, well, actually, apparently they're not the chosen ones anymore. And that might make them a little bit upset and just a hint pissy. But anyway, they don't like Islam.
But doesn't it piss you off that it's sort of all these protests in these Western countries? Protests in these European countries are keeping on and on every Saturday, even in USA, even in Australia.
Do you know the sad thing is about these
6
protests?
murders or 5 murders or something, you know.
Do you know what the sad thing is about these protests? If they knew the truth, they'd still go out and support it because their mates are doing it and they don't want to look bad.
No. Why don't they go over to fucking Israel?
I mean, when you looked at the meat grinder over in, say, for instance, what's it called? Fucking Mr. Cokehead, yellow and white, fucking Ukraine, yellow and blue. I was thinking, when you look at all of the fucking people that have been like murdered in there, and then when you look at it being the trafficking point of kids, drugs, money, all of the weapons that got sent over there are now in the hands of terrorists who got sold. And all the other shit. How many of those fucking woke wankers? You saw those flags everywhere. Everywhere that was a left-wing house had a flag hanging out. Where are they now? They've all taken their flags down quietly, haven't they? And they're not all banging on about that anymore. But if you told them, oh, we thought we were doing right, like you did the time before, and the time before that, and the time before that, and every time you made our lives bad because we didn't support you, but you've been fucking wrong every time, you lunatic. But they'll still do the next thing, and if we don't go along with it, we're wrong.
Exactly.
And if you want to see the protest, by the way, that man there who I've put on screen, right? He was there. He covered it. So if you go to his live stream earlier on, watch it after this, obviously. You'll see. There you go.
What was his name again?
Right, it's Hafel. Oh, you bastard. Haves Reflects. That's not how I know him, right? But anyway, that's what he's called, the channel. Yeah, you bastard. He's laughing at me now trying to pronounce that, fucker. You could have made it easy, could you? Fucker. So anyway, any other questions?
Yeah, where do you think the next election's going to go? Which way?
Vote Labour for the lose. All right. I'm an accelerationist, and it has to get. Listen, it has to go wrong fast. All right, because the slow boiling frog ain't working, and we get used to shit.
Mate. Vote Reform, innit?
Oh, what? So you want a paid opposition party? Excellent. Well done.
You saying vote Labour?
Yeah. Listen, I hate Labour. Right.
Yes, so do I.
Let me explain my thinking here.
Okay, come on. Then.
If we vote Conservative, we'll carry on with the slow destruction of this country, but people are going to get used, like they're used to it now, right? They're used to the slow change, and that's it. And because it doesn't happen too quick, it's Banksy, for fuck's sake. Just Banksy, bastard. So, yeah.
Who do you vote for then? Apart from Reform,
you vote for the worst possible fucking option that have a chance, right? And the reason for it, and I'll get to you in a minute, right? If you go, you know, the boiling frog, you put the, oh, we just lost him. Well, I'll explain it anyway. If you put a frog in cold water and bring it to the boil slowly, it won't notice and it'll boil to death. All right. It just gets used to it. But if you took a frog and put it in the boiling water, it'll jump back out. Right. The theory is the same with us, right? If the change is slow, we will accept it. But if things get really bad, really fast, even the thick fucks will wake up, and that's what we need. So that's why we need Labour, because they'll do that. Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
Simon, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Sorry, I was just watching a stream there. It was about latency, but yeah, that previous guy was a bit of a twat, really, talking about the geopolitical side of everything. I mean, come on.
The thing is, like, you're further down the road.
We should only be concerned about our own people.
I agree.
Right now. Do you agree or not agree?
Yeah, fuck right. Yeah, I don't give a shit about anybody else. You know what I mean? You know, how do I say that? Anglo-Saxons I give a fuck about, right? I give a fuck about the parts of Europe that need to be cared about. I do care about, say, for instance, Australia, America, and like New Zealand, these places, but not as much as I give a shit about here. So if something over there, how do I put this? If I have to, by doing something over here, it looks after my own and it's not so good for them, that's tough shit. That's the way it is. All right. I put my country first.
So kind of British Empire mentality, essentially. A
little bit, but still England predominantly first. And then and you imagine like you drop a pebble in the water, right? And the rings that go out. The bit in the front, in the middle, that's important. And then different levels of giving a fuck as it goes out, if you know what I mean.
Makes logical sense, yeah, sure. What I really wanted to say, though, is can we just get back to basics and actually speak about what's going on in our country? That's the whole point. I don't give a shit, just like I said, about what's going on. Everybody seems to be so obsessed about geopolitics, and it's really about what we want and what we need that should be the focus of our political system, but it's not. As you know, I'm from Scotland, so it's even worse here. As you can see, there's so much nonsense going on, and the politicians are using this as some kind of leverage for the dumbed down masses who seem to be only interested in what they see and feel via the media. They're being programmed by social media and the general media to believe a narrative that is inconsequential to their existence, so they're being conditioned, and this fucking disgusts me. What's going on? Do you agree somewhat?
Yes. Yeah, I'm finding I'm struggling to argue with any of what you're saying, right? But there we go, we're on the same page. It's like this. You probably were one of these that didn't go along with the mass when you were younger. You did your own thing, and then when you saw them buying all the same clothes and all hanging around in a group together and acting, you looked at them as weak, right? I did. No matter how hard they projected themselves, you just thought you can't go out without the support of each other. You're weak. Now, these same people now, even if they don't believe in it, won't go against it because they don't want to put their head above the parapet. I think they're cowards. They always have been. These are the cunts that hate the management at work and suck up to them, take them cups of tea and coffee and butter them up because they might get a promotion. You know, these people, I can't understand. right?
Do
However,
you think it's more like mass conditioning? I
Yes.
think it's actually
Yes.
mass conditioning, and that comes from TV and social media. Particularly, social media is a poison. That's why I don't use it anymore. Just give me a little second. I just found out recently that I have a late stage pancreatic cancer, so I'm going to be dying soon, which is sad. But there we go. Still there? Yeah.
yeah, I'm listening. Yeah, it's not good.
Okay. So I'm single. I'm an older man. I've been trying to talk to people. Everybody's in their little bubble. They're all in their little phone world, and it's quite weird. I'm sounding like Neil Oliver here, but it's quite weird that they're all being conditioned into this bubble. They've all been put into this weird bubble.
Please excuse what I'm about to say, but I know your last stages, but some of these people are hoping to die before it goes bad. They don't want to die, but they're hoping that they can get to the end of their period without ever having to do anything that involved anything for anybody else, without having to take a stand, without doing anything.
You really think so?
Yes.
You really think that?
I know.
You honestly think they're kind of?
I know people
they're
that
so nihilistic, that they're so negative that they just want to fucking kill themselves.
No, they don't want to die. So. What they're hoping to do is get through their life, right, and literally it happen to everybody else and not them, right? And then when they pop their clogs, they don't give a shit. These people, you hear them say about, well, my old man says it, right? He says, well, I haven't got long to go, so what's the point? He says, no, I'll be dead soon. Not like that. He didn't quite say those words, but I'll be gone. So what's the point in fucking standing up and doing anything? I'm like, thank fuck I didn't take after you. I was the black sheep of the family, and they didn't. But
I can see the point in what you're saying there. However, but isn't it just kind of the natural instinct of a human being to survive?
Not when you've indoctrinated them from the age of 4 legally.
Yeah.
Do you remember that you couldn't take your kid out of school, and they had to go to school, and now they're going to fine you if you take your kid out of school?
Well, like I say, I'm in my 50s. I remember the 70s and 80s, and it was a totally different universe. What's going on right now is sinister and disturbing.
But we were still
Orwellian.
We were indoctrinated at school. We were back then. I mean, they gave us their version of history, their version of what's good, what's bad, all the rest of it, and we couldn't question it because we didn't have the means. But yeah, I mean, we were the ones at school that didn't take it all in. We weren't greatest students. We weren't stupid, but we just weren't interested. And the way they put this stuff across, it was crap.
I didn't finish school. I left at 15 in 1984 and became a computer programmer. So,
exactly.
At least there was the option, but now they don't have any options. They're essentially conditioned and controlled by the system. So it's really quite sad. Anyway, I don't want to just continue with this discussion. It could go on forever, but yeah. So you get the point of what I'm saying. I'm just bringing that up.
But yeah, people are indoctrinated to the point that they're terrified now to step out of their shell, to be seen. I mean, all they think that their life involves is posting whatever they've eaten, wherever they've been, on Facebook to try and show everybody what a great life, living their best life. I fucking hate that. If somebody said to me, I'm living my best life, I'd fancy dropping the cunts. I hate that shit.
Yeah. Well, I'm still relatively healthy, and I go out cycling every day, and I see people staring at their phones and people taking selfies, and it's like, come on, live your life. Live your fucking life. It's the one life you've got. It's not about fucking photos, you stupid bastards. But,
Before, the closest we had to that was a CB at school, at home. Well, I had a CB at home.
Yeah, well, I remember there was a Citizen Band Radio. Yeah, great stuff.
But to be honest, we used to go out. We knew where everybody was because the bike was outside. Everybody had their bikes outside that house. You knew they were in there, so you'd call. We used to go out. Sometimes we'd make arrangements to meet up, but generally speaking, you'd go out, you'd ride around until you found the group, and then you'd have a laugh with your mates. And you didn't know where the day was going to take you. But this fucking social media, which I have to use to get to everybody else, has made us all lonely. I am quite lonely, I've got to be honest, because I spent so much time on the internet now that I live in a village, right? There's a lot of lefties, so I don't feel that I can really, I don't want to interact a great deal. I've made myself like this, right? And when you go out and you see people that all they give a shit about is feeding their face or getting pissed or going on the latest gig or whatever with all of their mates, and you think you're just It's total give me pleasure, give me pleasure, give me pleasure. It's all it is with them. They don't put anything back into the planet or their neighborhood or whatever. They do nothing. It's all about themselves, and they bore my fucking piss. And I can't fucking be around them because I've got nothing in common with these cunts, and this has isolated me. And the last 10 years have taught me a lot more morals and ethics, and now I'm feeling that I don't have a lot in common with these cunts.
Yeah. I think we're all very socially isolated these days, especially people of our age. So the young ones, I have no idea what the fuck they're doing. They're all at home like mole rats staring at screens. They're staring at TVs, or they're staring at computers, or they're staring at smartphones. It's just what a fucking existence that is. When I was a kid, did the same thing. We were all out in a group being crazy. It's just sad now. It really is. Anyway, I'm just going to end this call now. But nice chat, and speak to you another time.
Oh,
Thank
buddy,
you very much.
thanks a lot. Take stay. See you in a bit, mate.
Bye-bye.
Nice call. Got a good point. Just for you and the other chat, it's across all of them. It's a 1154. So because we're trying something else at the moment. I got the mods now actually in a live with me through the other. Oh, right. GP Lewis is back, so that I can comment to them and they can go, somebody's in here or this is that. And hello again. You had a bit of trouble with your phone?
No.
Well,
Hi. How are you?
Yeah, the phone got put down, so I was like, that's a bit odd.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought, oh, okay.
Yeah,
I thought you said
it wasn't my end.
And do you think the country's going to cope with a Labour government?
Well, badly, I hope.
Yeah, but then we got 5 years of shit, haven't we?
Right. Well, here's the difference. You get the same years of shit with a Conservative government. They just cover what they're doing.
I know.
And then, with Labour, they'll fight amongst themselves. They'll come out with some really shit ideas. They'll do some extreme stuff, and people will wake up. That's why you need it. Neither side are going to stop any of the boats coming over. They're not going to stop the rise in Islamification of our country. They're not going to change anything, but one's going to go more aggressive at it than the other. So it might wake up the fucking people with their head in the clouds.
Yeah, but what can we do without a party we can vote for?
Do you actually think your vote makes any difference? Do you think that when you vote, right? I'll ask you another question. When you get your MP and he says, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. They've done it for time, right? And when
it's all a load of bullshit in it.
Right, okay. You're getting there. So when they say, I'm going to do something they never do, and this goes on for your entire lifetime, and you say, well, what are we going to do if we get a government in that doesn't listen to us? They don't listen to you anyway. They never did. We've got an illusion, right, of democracy. You get given a couple of fuckwits to vote for, and every one of them's controlled.
Exactly, yeah.
You ask the president of the United States just how much power he actually has, right? And what he can actually achieve without any assistance. Same for the Prime Minister. Can I say something?
Go on. The President of the United States.
Yes.
How old is he? And he's got Alzheimer's, hasn't he?
Well, he's not well.
He's not very well.
I never do video content about him because I will not. As much as he was a fucking grim arsehole when he was a young lad or a younger man, I won't. Right, I will not knock a bloke who's mentally ill because I don't believe he should be there.
No. Definitely.
Right, Henry's saying controlled by who? Lobbyists.
Yeah.
We have the most amount of per politician lobbyists in Europe at the moment. Great Britain.
Yeah. But who do you vote for if you want this country to say no more small boat?
How many times do I have to say, right, you don't vote for anybody that's actually going to, you haven't got to vote where they're actually going to achieve that, where they actually stand a chance of getting in, right? Now, the only party that I could say that actually may have done something would be, say, for instance, the Heritage Party, but he will never, ever get any traction at all. Right, you got Richard Tice, controlled opposition, right?
Yeah.
Who else? Name some parties. I mean, Liberal Democrats. They're a fucking joke, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Green Party.
Green Party. Do you know what they call them? They call them the watermelons. Green on the outside, red on the inside. The commies, right?
Yeah.
So name another one.
Well, that's it, isn't it?
Well, there's a load of plethora of other fucking wank stain parties out there, right? That don't stand a chance. Henry, if you're going to type, fuck's sake, green, what is that? Henry wants you to vote green. Brilliant. Excellent. That's the answer to everything. I mean, if you lived in London and you don't have any transport your own, I suppose the Green Party might seem like a good idea. But if you actually have to drive to work because of reasons you're living out the country, then Green Party, not great. Lib Fems, brilliant. Peachy, yeah. So, no, we haven't got a fucking option. There is nothing to vote for that stands a chance.
There is nothing to vote for, is there?
No. So if you spoil your ballot, right, you're going to get Labour. If you vote for any other party, you'll get Labour, right? And if you vote for Conservative, the chances are you probably ain't going to get in anyway.
I would never vote Conservative ever again. I've always voted Conservatives, and now I'm never going to do it again.
Well,
because they're a bunch of ponces, I tell you.
Got any BNP where you
Aren't
are?
they? Aren't they? Wet rags.
Yeah, see if the BNP are standing and vote for them. I know Crinkle is.
Politicians these days are just voting for themselves, don't they? You know, it's just a waste of time.
It is what it is, but there you go. Anyway, mate, I'm going to let somebody else call in, so I shall speak to you in a bit, buddy, all right?
Yeah, I'll phone you again.
All right, mate, see you in a bit. Bye-bye. You know when people ask you what you think, but they don't listen? We used to have friends like that. What do you reckon I should do with her? So you give her your advice, and then they do whatever they do anyway. And then when it all goes wrong, they ask your advice again. Now, this is an interesting one.
You know people ask you what you think, and they don't listen.
Hello. Oh, mate, can you... That worked well. Okay. Right, so we've got... Hello. Right, 1 minute. Can you hear me? We're not doing well, eh? Hello?
Hello. You all right, Si?
Not too bad, mate. How you doing?
Right, here we go. Yeah, my missus just pulled up a brilliant point for me, right? So she said to me 2 years ago, you're going to vote Labour, yeah?
Yeah.
So I said, yeah, 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I was going to vote Labour. So in the time from 2 years ago to now, right, I'm sort of like leaning towards reform. My missus says hello, by the way.
Hello, Mrs. How are you?
That's Rachel. Anyway,
Hello, Rachel.
so, I just got a slap for that.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, sorry
anyway,
about
so in 2 years that I thought, like, because like my father was always Labour.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and like, so, you know, I mean, obviously Tony Blair ruined it a bit for us, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But in the time between 2 years and now, it's got to the point where I'm thinking, hold on a minute, and reform. Now, I've been watching from the start, and you just said about reform. Basically, if you vote reform, if you vote anything, you get Labour.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, I don't know. I've kind of gone around some
look who set up reform, right? And look whose backing they had. Now, this is a guy that when he built up UKIP, when it looked like they were going to get somewhere, he fucked it up, right? Nigel Farage.
I know about Farage.
Yeah. Now, Nigel Farage he come from the city. He's one of them, right? He seems like the real deal, and he talks a lot of sense. But he's nothing more than he'd rather be conservative, if I'm completely honest. But what they do is they filter to conservative. And he was, I mean, UKIP, when we went in there, we found out that the NEC, which is the National Executive Committee, was completely corrupted and owned. And anybody who came in with fresh ideas that actually wanted to achieve something, they want to bin them out and call them far right.
by the globalists, by the state sort of thing you're on about, owned by them.
they're basically the paid opposition. They're meant to, I mean,
Yeah.
when Farage looked right, he was supposed to give us the like, we're going to give you your freedom, we'll get you out of Europe. The idea was he was supposed to put up a great fight, but he was supposed to lose. He was never meant to win it, right? And if you have a look on the night when they won, his face dropped like a stone. He quit the next day. Is that the actions of a fucking bloke who was happy? No.
Well, I've got to admit, I've never actually watched any of that, but I will say that I've never liked Farage from the start. Really, he's just greasy. He's just a slimy little toad, to be honest.
Well, anybody who actually gave a fuck about his country, he called him racist, didn't he?
Yeah, far right and all that shit as usual. You know what I mean? All right, well, that clears it. So basically, we've got no one to vote for.
The only ones that we could have had would have been people like David from the Heritage Party. That's the only party that, if I could, I would vote for, thinking I was actually going to, do a vote for good. The only one, there's no.
So
party.
he's obviously got that small of a percentage that he's not going to get anywhere anyway.
No, he hasn't got a big enough party at the moment. Don't forget, this was a bloke that used to go on to that London thing, the Assembly, and smash lumps out of fucking Sadiq Khan. Absolutely take the cunt to fucking to the cleaners. He destroyed him.
He knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, he's a very clever man. He's a giant of a man as well. He's fucking head and shoulders taller than me. Fucking great hand. I shook his hand. I was like, fucking hell, lovely, friendly guy.
What's his name?
Right, his name is David, and I'm going to remember his last name because you just put me on the spot. I can't fucking remember. I've interviewed him, David Curtin.
David from Heritage Party.
Yeah,
That's all. I can Google it.
You know, whenever, have you ever been in town and you're with somebody and somebody you know comes along? They went,
ask you a question,
and they go, "What's the name?" And you go,
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
It's David Curtin.
Right, you just done exactly the same to me because I had a point to make from that, and I can't remember it now.
Well, remember your point. Call back in.
All right, mate. Yeah. Anyway, one little quick question. My missus wants to know, where's your accent from? Originally.
What, she can't work it out?
No, she thinks you're a Londoner.
Nope.
No.
Keep going.
Go on, and put her out of her misery.
I was born and bred Weston-super-Mare.
Weston-super-Mare. Yeah, I've been there. I've been down there. It's beautiful. That is a beautiful bit of the coast, that is.
You know the
really
donkeys on the beach?
Yeah.
I used to do the donkey rides on the beach and the horse and cart. That was me.
He has a nice house.
But
you got a nice house. Yeah.
The thing is, right, my parents, they did their best. We had a taxi business. We were fucking skint, right? And Dad sent me and my brother to a private school for a few years, thinking that he could make something out of us that he'd never got to himself. And he worked his fucking ass off. And I did Latin and all the beautiful joined up writing, and everybody there had a Rolls Royce or a Jag. We had a Ford Cortina. So they would take the piss. So I battered them.
More than we had. We had a Triumph Herald.
Nothing fucking wrong with a Herald, but that had the second best.
I learned to drive in a Triumph Herald, mate.
Well, mate, you remember your U-turn was in one, wasn't it? Like, no problems at all. You didn't do a 3-point because in a Herald, the turning circle was that.
That's right.
That of a cab. No, you see, I know these things.
Well, I'm a wagon driver, same as you.
Yeah.
I've got my HGV. I got my HGV in the army. I'm the old man served as well.
And you'll screw an Arctic round in a fucking road quicker than you will a fucking class 2, won't you? Yeah.
Yes, you know what I'm talking about.
So basically, my parents wouldn't have me going ooh-ah and all the rest of it. They give me a load of shit about it, and they made me speak properly. So it's hard to tell that where I'm from, but I'm right, my lover, right, my bower. Gert Lush, mint peachy swell.
Right, because what it was, right, I remember when I went down there with Craig when he first got his car, right, I went down with a mate when he first got his car, and I didn't realise it was that far down, because we live in Birmingham, so we've gone down to Birmingham. It took about 2 hours from Birmingham, which is about right.
Yeah.
Do you know, and I didn't actually realise we were that far down.
We used to call it Birmingham-on-Sea some summers because all the seafront was full of all the brummies, and they were walking up all the way.
Oh, right. So that's why, because I'm not from Birmingham. That's why he took me down there then.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Yeah, literally, it was the first fucking junction they got off at, right? Oh, fuck me, Western, get off your eat, right? And then they get parked up, and they'd be walking along the prom, and they went, what happened to your bridge, mate? fucking
you're dead
pier.
right there. Get this, right? The first woman that we bumped into that was walking a dog, she was from Brum.
Yeah, seriously.
That's no word of a lie.
It's fucking yim yam of fucking all right down the front. I'm telling you.
That's all right, Chowder. I'm all right, I'm all right.
And you get some fat fucking yam, right? She's like, could I get all the donkeys? Right, fuck off. You break the cunt's back, you fat lumpy cunt. Oh, I know, it needs to be like that. And so you chuck him in the fucking horse and carriages like that'll be a bit better. Go on, get in there, you lump. Go on, fuck off. So, yeah. It's funny as fuck. And you know, they come down and we get a load of Indian people from Birmingham, right? And they come down, all 15 of them in the Datsun Sunny. Do you remember that?
Who were they? What are they like? What do they look like?
They're different. I can't think what, but they're different. Anyway, right? They're flat out up and down the beach. It's 15 mile an hour speed limits. They're doing 40 or 50, swerving all over the place, nearly killing people, right? Fucking dogs over. And then they park too close or they drive into the mud. Now I've got I'm driving a horse and cart, right? Now they've now sunk the Sunny, right? Right?
Yeah.
And they're trying to move this cunt, and the sea's coming in. Now, admittedly, I could have taken that horse out the shafts, right? Chained it up to the back of that fucking piece of shit and dragged it out. Whether it had come out in bits, I don't know. But they're like, oh, you've got to save my car. I went, fuck off, right? And I watched them flapping like fuck until the sea got around this thing. Then it started to float, right? And then it fucked off out. This was the only car I know because most of them just bobbed a bit, then sank. This cunt just fucked off out towards fucking Breen Down, right? And we were like, well, that's fucking marvelous. Look at that. Anyway, these fucking people, they were losing their shit. Bless them. And I was like, fuck them. Yeah. I'll tell you a funny story, right? The next place down is Breen. Now, my uncle was driving this fucking lorry with all the animals in the back, right? Now all the animals have come out and they're at the stand, and there's an ice cream van got stuck. So this Land Rover has gone down to pull out the ice cream. He got stuck itself. So my uncle, being the kind person, has gone down in this fucking like horse box, tried to pull him out. He's got stuck.
And that's got stuck as well.
But anyway, about 3 hours later, all the other vehicles have been dragged out by this horse box, right? And they've got literally the sea's come over the cab, and all the kids have stood on the top diving into the sea, having a wonderful time. Yeah, he had a bit of a job trying to explain that to me, Granddad. I think the fucker's still ran again after. They just emptied it out and fucking off you go. But,
yeah. Blood the cylinders and fucking
the pump, the sump, the gearbox, the diff, and anything else that could have holded fluid, like got drained out of seawater. But
you just reminded me of a little story here. I'll give you one back then. I don't know if you've ever heard of a place called Shell Island in Wales.
No, but go on.
No, right, on the Barmouth coast, a bit further down, sort of mid-Wales way, there's a place called Shell Island, but it's basically the whole island's a big campsite, and you go there, and if you turn up, and if there's one coming off, you can get on. But to get there, there's like a causeway, and the reason why it's called an island is it's like you can get there, you can walk across to it, but when the tide comes in, it floods the causeway. And that's it. It's an island. So all the tides in it. It's an island. Hey, mate, if you ever want a holiday, seriously, it's right near Barmouth, just down from Harlock, Men of Harlock, and all that, near Barmouth, called Shell Island. Go there, right, and turn up. You can either book. I don't know how they do it these days. About 10, 15 years since I've been there. But it's absolutely beautiful. And when the tide comes in, like I say, anyway, so we're driving on, and just as we're driving on, they're putting the barriers up saying the tide's coming in, and this car thinks, all right, I can beat the tide, right? So he's driving on, and like we just got off behind the barrier, and we can see the tide's coming in, and this car's driving in. So anyway, I've gone up to the box and got me pegged for the night. So the next time when we come out to drive down to Barmouth the next morning, his car, I remember what it was. It was a little Mazda. You remember the little Mazdas with the soft tops, Mazda 5 or whatever it was in front of them, and it was like wheels up by side of the causeway, covered in fucking seaweed.
Yeah, they usually sink about this much. So when you come in the morning, there's a load of sand washed out from around them, and they've come down to about the door handles. And to pull them out, then you end up bending them into all sorts of shapes, because they used to send this fucking 6-wheel scamel down, and it winch a house over, like, and this thing just fucking, they winch a cable through it and just pull the roof off the cunt or whatever, and this thing would come out in bits. And
mate, do you know what? Right, that brings back so much memories. Like I say, I'm ex-army. I was in BAOR. Right, I came out in '95. I went in '91. I was in BAOR, and I went over to Canada for the Medman exercises, and some of the shit that went on there is amazing. You know what I mean? I actually got pulled out by one of the old Remy vehicles.
Yeah.
They got this big vehicle. They call it a turtle. It's got a flipping scoop on the front and that. I bogged it down. I bogged my Land Rover down. This thing came over the hill and pulled me out. Anyway, that reminds me of a point I just want to make, right? So the religion of peace and all that, like, yeah? So if we do get into fisticuffs with Russia, the way things are going with Ukraine and that, and I do believe that, I mean, I know a lot of the conspiracy theories say, yeah, it's Biden pushing it and all that lot and everything, yeah, but I do believe that Russia wants to, he's gone off, hasn't he?
No, I'm listening.
Oh, he's still there. He's still there.
I'm giving you off you go.
So, what I'm saying is, right, so the religion of religion of peace wants to take over this. I've had a couple of beers, mate. Sorry. The religion of peace wants to take over this country. Yeah.
Yeah.
But as soon as Mr. Putin decides that it's gone too far and he targets this country with his Sarmat 2s, his Satan 2s, and all that lot, what do you think the religion of peace will do then?
Not sure, really, because the religion of peace will fight anything.
They'll get back on the fucking boat and they'll leave like rats off a sinking ship.
Right. You do remember that Russia had their fight with Afghanistan, and who are the Afghanistan people? They're Mozzies, weren't they?
They're what? They're
Muslims. And I'm led to believe that everybody who went up against them failed. So the CIA failed and Russia failed. So, you know.
Oh yeah, well even Britain back in the 1800s, we were the first ones in Afghanistan.
But no,
if you check the history, we were the first ones in Afghanistan. They kicked our ass too.
You can't beat them because they want to die. Somebody wants to die. Yeah,
but what I'm saying is, they're sitting in this country now. They want to take over and everything. But as soon as they know that there's nukes targeted on us, what do you think they'll do? They'll go on the next plane out.
To be honest, nobody believes that Russia's actually going to nuke us anyway. But these people,
I'm saying if it did come to that,
these people, most of them aren't political. Most of them haven't got a clue, right? And they'll stay here for the benefits, and they won't. They're not like that. They're not going to go, I'm going to leave this sure thing on my benefits because there may be a chance of Russia nuking us. They just wouldn't give a fuck. And if they
no. What I'm talking about is say that the worst case scenario came off that they went in flipping Ukraine, and what NATO is saying that if they beat Ukraine, then the rest of NATO is next, and they start. They start going on saying, "Oh, well, a minute, we're going to nuke this. I'm going to nuke this. I'm going to nuke this."
Right, we're getting given an illusion that there's going to be a war because at the moment both sides do this, right? And that's how they come up with a reason why you have to spend more in taxes to fund the new weapons that we're going to need to keep us safe. It's worked like that for the last 100 years or more, right? So we've getting given this is more bread and circus, okay? And we're just being given this at the moment that Russia's bad, that we're good.
I totally do get that.
Anyway,
also,
what I'm going to do, because I'm going to try and get through a few more callers.
I know, I took a bit of time actually.
No worries, mate. Enough. So I shall.
Mate, nice one.
All right, mate. You take it steady. See you in a bit. Bye bye. Yeah, I'm going to try and get through them a bit quicker because that was like 16 minutes and stuff, and you could tell by the numbers people who want to, SP Lewis is again. Now this is Crinkle, but the thing is, Crinkle has called himself something else. So until he can actually call me by his own name, we'll leave it. Hello.
Hello, mate. How's it going?
Not too bad. You?
Mate, I'm just watching you on YouTube, and I was like, I've watched a few of your live streams and all that sort of stuff. I'm like, man, you were a proper tough bloke.
Cheers, bud. I'm trying to work out your
And
accent.
I'm
at the
sure,
mo- yeah.
and I'm sure if you wanted some smoke blowing up your ass, you'd have a pack of cigarettes and a short length of rubber hose.
I like it. I like it. Yeah. Yeah. When people start blowing sunshine at my ass, I go red faced and I feel it awkward. So anyway, but yeah. So what's on your mind, buddy?
Dude, I was just like, honestly, I was just like scrolling through, and I was just watching the Angry Bootneck. He was like talking about some, as he does, random stuff, stabbings in Australia and all that type of stuff.
Yeah,
And
I was
just
meant to
came
get.
across
I was meant to get to that part, but we never did. Literally, I went. And the calls went off, and that was it. I prefer the calls, if I'm honest. So
yeah, well, like so I came across your thing, and I was like, right, I'm like, I'll dial, I'll dial. I was looking to see how many people were actually calling or how many people were watching. I was like 800 and something, and I was like, you've got no chance of getting through here, bro.
you never know.
I kept on trying, and here we are, mate. I'm talking at the Rev. Man, I'm so stoked, mate. Honestly, I watch you when you're driving your truck and all that stuff. I thought you quit your job.
Yeah, well, I told him, fuck off if you're going to speak to me like that. So he left it a few days, waited for me to calm down. And then when I did, he apologized. So I went, fuck it. Because, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the money's okay and it's really local. And I can do, if I want to do 3 days a week, which means if I want to, if I've got to do stuff to do with YouTube or if I want to break, I can do that. If you go to an agency, you actually don't earn so much. And it's
because they skim their bit off the top and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, little leeches. Yeah, they love it, don't they?
Damn them,
fucking
bastards,
pesky cunning agencies. And the rate went down as well. Whereas we were earning good money during the lockdown, that's all gone, and now we're on shit wages. So I might as well just do the local stuff. I know him. I know the crack. I know the job. I don't particularly like it, but I don't actually get on that much with lorry driving nowadays anyway because there's so many nutters out on the road. So it is what it is.
That is exactly why I do not own a motorbike anymore. But anyhow, by the by, right,
well, I bought one and the clutch fucking crapped out today. I noticed when I was riding it, I was like, that's not, because it was getting to the end of the handlebars, right? The grip, so you could hardly fucking, it was literally just there. And I was like, and I tried to, I'd adjusted everything I could on the fucking handlebars. There was nothing down there that won't adjust. It won't move. And I'm like, fuck's sake. Anyway, I got home and I played around, and then I went dipped the clutch. I pulled the clutch in, went to put it in gear, and the cunt's just stalled. And I've gone, I think that is either a cable that's just snapped or something. Anyway, something's wrong. It ain't working, so I've got to get a new clutch for it and have it fitted. But whatever. Yeah, so it's an old
anyway, right. So I am currently serving army.
All right,
and it is an absolute shit show in this place.
So, what age would you be then?
Pardon?
What age would you be if you're serving at the moment?
Well, I've gone on through the years and all that type of stuff, and I'm like, scammed it a bit and all that type of stuff. So, I'm like plus years. I've done a lot of time, sort of thing. But I've kind of like stayed in the lower echelons, if you know what I mean.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm like still at the bottom level, sort of thing, and like looking up and all that. And man, it's like the amount of disorganization. It is absolute. It is unbelievable to think that this is the British Army and this is how it all runs.
Apparently, it's a world apart from 30 years ago, isn't it?
My lord, yeah, definitely.
Can you actually imagine half of the recruits now coping with a sergeant major in their face, balling them?
I had an incident the other day when I was talking rather bluntly to a young fella, and he was like, "Oh, I would appreciate if you didn't swear at me." And I was like, "You fucking what?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'd appreciate if you didn't swear at me." And I was like, Are you joking?" He was like, No, I don't like swearing. And I was like, we're in the army. You're meant to be like,
tough.
Yeah, part of a fighting force.
If he said that in the old days, he'd have been drop that man, wouldn't it? Drop that man. Hey, off your butt.
Kill him now. Take him away.
Live in fact. But yeah, it's like, what the fuck is the state of that? Boom, on the chin.
I was kind of like gobsmacked about it, sort of thing. I'd like heard about the snowflakery and all that type of stuff, but I'd never actually visibly seen it or actually engaged with it.
Not just that. Like, they'll report you for that shit as well. And you'll end up in front of somebody else, them trying to explain why you've got to go really
the young fella didn't, you know what I mean? And I seen him like about 2 days afterwards, sort of thing. And, it just like gave him that look, and he was like, kind of, "Oh, yeah, I know who you are." I don't want to talk to you anymore. But I would say it's absolutely staggering. It's really staggering. I mean, I know they say that like hard times breed hard people and soft times breed soft people.
Yeah.
But I kind of wish for hard times. I don't want to return to the old school draconian bullying days. You know, like the hardcore racist sort of like
Yeah.
a few people when I came up through sort of thing, they were getting banned from England games for inciting racial hatred and all that sort of stuff. You know, but I'd like to teleport everyone from now back to then, and everyone from then back to here, and just go, right, look at these two alternates you can have. You can either like toughen this place up and get real, or this is what is going to go horrifically wrong.
If you're going to stand, say for instance, I'm just going to make something up, but basically, if Russian soldiers went up against British soldiers right now,
they would laugh. They would laugh at us.
Yeah, because they've come up in a hard background. I mean, the Polish and the Russians are tough, right? They're a different case. They don't show their emotions in the same way.
All you've got to do is just look at the recruiting videos.
Mm.
All of ours are my two dads and all that type of stuff. And there's our Spetsnaz guys leaping out of planes, climbing over walls, punching people in the face.
Generally being up.
It's
yeah. Doing what soldiers meant to do,
World's
actually.
lost.
Soldiers built to kill. That's a soldier's entire purpose of being able to kill anything that threatens its kind.
Yeah.
It's quite normal.
And it's almost like they're trying to like indoctrinate the army into this soft culture sort of thing of like acceptance and tolerance and all that type of stuff. Whereas what we really want is xenophobic, racist killers who someone goes, kill him. Nobody questions why.
No.
Blast. He's dead.
I'm not looking into the politics of it. That was your target you painted. Cheers. Thanks very much. Next. I mean, it's like fucking the SAS when they were in Tyrone and they were just taken out. Like, they look the same, but you were told to kill them. When you sent them abroad to Afghanistan, kill them. All right. When you sent them to Iraq, them, yes, fine. Just
kill them.
Just those are the ones, kill them. Okay. No problem. But that's what they're trying to do. This lot, they fucking want to feng shui the cunts. Probably end up getting it, sit down, talk and fucking touching base, and we'll circle back and put a pin in it. Oh, fuck me up and down.
Have a cup of tea, sit on the carpet, and get some Bakubazi boys in. We'll have a good laugh.
Yeah, let's not fucking hurt each other's feelings. Oh God, fuck me up and down. It really is bad. But they've done this with all of our society. Now, if you've got an invading bunch of fucking loonies,
the police
that are hell bent on their religion and they're a lot tougher and they've come from a shit background, they're not going to find it too hard to take over when our lot have been weakened and soyed. Yeah,
exactly that.
So,
but anyhow, Si, I think I've taken up a lot of your time right now, and I'm sure there's more rabid callers waiting to get through.
Yes,
however, to go back to one of your
flow.
points when you were to one of your points when you're driving your truck, mate, you don't depress us all with your daily updates. You invigorate us with your truth, and I want more of it. Give me more. Give me fuel. Give me fire.
See, this is the thing. You see yourself. Am I upsetting these people? Am I depressing them by giving them bad news? That's how it feels.
Fucking hell no. But the thing is, you're not making people angry. You're just waking people up.
Well, that was the whole purpose of doing it. But sometimes you think, like, you're just giving them all more bad news. Is there any way that you could give them some happy news? And, like, you're looking around, you're like, I ain't fucking seeing any good news at the moment. Don't know why, but there it is. So
I think that's because there is not a lot of good news, but keep on preaching the good message.
Well, that's why I do Man Up, because I'm talking about stuff like doing my bike test on Man Up, and I'm talking about other things on there. So it's a bit of difference, but that's one of the other channels, because I've got like 5 now.
Yeah,
got the main one.
I don't know personally.
Yeah,
all I've seen is all I've watched is the Reverend Simon Sideways and the Reverends. That's
right.
the only film I'm
I've got Simon Evans. I've got Man Up. I've got Dave Green. My prejudice plant over there. Yeah, he's got his own YouTube channel.
I have seen him as well.
Yeah, he's a fucker. He hasn't done anything for a while, so I will have to have a word with him. He got repotted the other day. It's not quite as posh your pot, is it, Dave? But you are growing, so fucking tree-like thing now, anyway. But anyway, yes. So yeah. Well, look, I'll let you get on, and if you get any more news about stuff that would be useful, let me know.
Well, I'm sure I've got loads I can tell you about this place.
Yeah,
and the army in general, and somewhat shady dealings of the Ukraine. So, you know.
Well, if you want to call
please
back
don't
in,
publish my number.
no, I delete it all anyway. But if you want to come back on at another time and give us some more details, we'll take them. All right.
Right on, side. Pleasure talking to you, mate. Honestly, keep up the good work.
And you,
We
buddy.
obviously we all fucking love you, mate. Keep it on.
All right, cheers, buddy. Catch you in a bit. Bye.
Cheers on, boy.
So, Crinkle, you've got a fake picture there, and you're coming under a different name. When you do me the honor of putting your picture on there and actually putting Henry Crinkle, I'll answer it. How's that? Fair? I'll make the rules. Hello. Hello.
Hello?
Hello. How you doing?
All right. The Simon Cyberys?
It is indeed.
Well, this is Trevor the Plant. This is Trevor the ex-copper.
Hello, Trevor. How you doing, mate?
Not too bad, thank you. You have had some fantastic guests tonight, and I don't think I could follow any of them. They've been really, really good. And I think the last gentleman, we spoke about yourself doing what you're doing. I think you really echoed everyone's point of view. Anyway, I haven't got any stories to tell. I haven't got any points to make, other than just to say hi. I wanted to do that, just to say hello, and to say hello to everyone that's watching you tonight. It's fantastic. It's good, really good viewing tonight, Simon. So
I nearly didn't do it, I'll be honest, because I was having a bit of I was flat as a witch's tit earlier on because just reasons, and I thought to myself, if you keep putting off, you will stop doing it completely. So you need to get back into it. So I just went ahead and I thought, well, we'll see how it goes. We got a couple of news stories, but luckily, people started ringing in, and it's the calls that make the show more than me reading out a news story, because people, the whole reason my main channel has been banned from live streaming is because of this. Is because between the three channels at the moment, I've got 1,310 roughly watching. You're all going through the comments and putting your points across. People are calling in, and everybody realizes they're not alone. I mean, the only person that doesn't agree with us at the moment is trying to call in via a fake name. Bless him. So, you know, this is the problem that the channel, yourselves, myself, we all pose, is that we're showing people who are watching this or listening, fuck me, I'm not on my own. There's loads of people that think like that. Listen to all these people that are ringing in that are saying similar stuff. And that's the problem. So it's you lot that actually help or the power of it, if you want. If I sat here all day long just talking into a camera without anybody coming back and agreeing or disagreeing or whatever, you wouldn't have the same effect. I wouldn't be as big a problem to the system, because all I'm doing is giving you all ability to say live what you think, which tells everybody else that they're not alone. And also, like, say for instance, Trev, when you rang in and you were telling us stuff about the police that we had suspicions about, but we couldn't say for definite, you then make people realize that they weren't on their own, they weren't thinking madness or whatever, and that they were right. And people like yourself who ring in and go, this is about this is about that, and all the rest of it, the people watching going, I fucking knew it. I knew it. So that's the whole point of the call-in. But yeah, so you don't even have to have anything to say, Trev, to call in here, which is quite useful. So
no, I have another story to tell at some other time, which is really quite horrendous, but I won't do it now because it'll be too long-reaching. But and I think that will surprise a lot of people. But anyway, enough said. But yes, what you're doing, Simon, is fantastic, and good luck with your motorcycle. I think that's excellent what you're doing. We all need sort of new challenges in life, you know.
Well, when I get my license through and stuff, I'm then going to go once the bikes, because the bike hasn't done any miles for years and years, and it's cropping up with little things, tiny things. It's like the guy that had it bought it when he was 60 and got rid of it when he was 80, and I got a sneaking suspicion he's probably slipped the clutch quite a lot, because when I got it, the clutch was right at the end, and I think it's just crapped out tonight. So that needs to get done, but it's no big deal. Clutch for a bike is no big money on an old bike like that. So we'll get that sorted. But I want to go to a lot of events that are charitable stuff and things, and then go and maybe get a camera in people's faces if they're all right with it. Like, what do you think? Why are you here? What do you wish to achieve? That kind of stuff. And then do some good with the bike. That's the theory of it all. And maybe meet some nice people. That would be nice.
We've had some nice people on tonight. I do know that for a fact.
I just wish they would live local so we could all go down a pub and have a pint together. But
I'll tell you what, Simon, that'd be fantastic. That really would. It'll be a great evening.
what would be lovely is a flipping great round table where we all sit round, right, in a corner of a pub somewhere, and we all just drink and talk and put ideas across and all just have a laugh. That would be nice. But
Exactly.
we will organise it at some point. But I am the procrastinator from hell. Literally, I will plan to get round to it one day. One day.
Simon, I really hope you do.
Well, yeah, with a bit of luck. Anyway, I will. I'll let you get on, Trev, and I will. Well, I'll speak to you on the next one. I should think if you're about.
That's great, Simon.
All right, matey.
That's great, Simon. Thank you very much. Take care.
No worries, mate. Take it steady. See you in a bit, mate.
Bye-bye.
Fucking hell. I'll tell you, you got to give Crinkle his due. He's ringing and ringing and ringing. Anyway, oh god, my backside. So we've got over to 13. We got 13,000 now. Is that right? No, we haven't got 13. Is it 12,000? Hang on. What's she saying? 14,000. Right, we're 14,000 subs. GP Lewis. Hello. Hello. So did you think about what it was that you wanted to ask?
Yeah, I'm thinking, what do you expect about the Labour's going to win the next election and what we're going to have to endure over the next 5 years?
What we're going to have to endure? A lot more immigration, a lot more crackdown of the internet, hate speech laws, people getting locked up for wrong thing. Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Right, it's going to be worse than Conservatives.
Right. You do it with the Conservatives, you'll get there slowly. You do it with the Labour, you get there fast and you might wake some people up. Are you getting this?
Yeah, I'm getting it, man. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that's...
I mean, you've got Angela Rayner, whatever her name is, and she's a real chav, and she's going to try and defend herself.
I did see a picture.
$3,500.
I did see a picture of her doing karaoke next to a guy who I believe is meant to be, they're singing together, and apparently that's meant to be the person that's going to be investigating her. So I should imagine that's going to be a thorough investigation.
Yeah.
Anyway, there it is. Right, buddy. I'm going to let a new caller get on. All right. So I'll.
Okay. Bye.
I'll catch you in a bit. Bye. Is that 3 times tonight? Is it 4? Anyway. So, what was that news story? What we were actually going to do in the first place? Anyway. Fridge and microwave. How are you?
Hello, mate. Long time no see.
A little bit. What have you been up to?
I'll just turn it down a bit. I've got my CCTV. Got that. Still haven't got a job. Let's just like apply for every security job going, and it's like nothing comes back.
It is what it is, but sometimes you might have to just take some other work for now until I don't know something comes on better.
I've been absolutely glued to your channels, and when you go driving that bucket of a dust cart or whatever you're driving in your lorry, I think it's brilliant. You know the streams you're putting out.
It's a tipper, but yeah. What's it?
Yeah,
I'm just looking
well,
at Betsy looking for a logger, Rev. Logger. You'll have to explain that, Betsy. I'm a bit clueless here, mate.
Yeah,
anyway,
I'm jacking the cadets, and I'm handing it all in on Monday.
What? Which cadets? Did you say? Not army cadets. What cadets?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, just had enough now. Just coming to the.
So what's
getting it's getting too politically correct.
And how long have you been there for?
19 years.
Okay, now.
I know.
Or is it getting too politically correct, or are you waking up in politics and looking at it now from a different pair of eyes?
No, just had enough. You know.
So what you're going to do now?
Some people. I don't know. That sounds a bit. I'm doing a bit. I'm trying to get in a bit of event security work. You know,
Well, right
events
time
and
of
all
year
that.
for it, I believe. Yeah, we're getting on towards summer now.
Yeah.
So.
I've got to, do you know Will Shear's Truck and Drive?
I've heard of it.
He lives opposite me across the road, you know.
Mm.
And he's on holiday, and like you said, so I can't keep the drivers now because there's no money in it.
Exactly.
Absolutely no money. You know, I've just had a mate next door, Paul, who works for that Spanish dust cart. Sorry, that Spanish dust cart company.
Mm.
Amy, and he's left. My mate Neil, he's ex-army. He works for Crawley. Just totally dying it. They just can't get drivers.
Yeah, they can't keep them because they talk to them like shit. Anyway, mate, we're going to do we're going to get back to the politics stuff. So I'm going to let somebody else call in and talk about that because.
Okay, mate. Yeah. Take care, mate.
All right, mate. See you in a bit. Bye bye. It's kind of a bit off topic, that really. Albino, like it. Alrighty, let's get to that story if we actually can. Nope, we can't. Hello.
Hello there.
How you doing?
It's Jeff Wade. All right, buddy lad. It's Jeff Wade from County Durham.
How you doing?
I've before.
Yeah, could you just turn the live stream down behind you, buddy? Because
yeah, sorry,
no worries.
Sorry, I'll turn that door. Sitting in the back kitchen today. All right. Is that all right?
Yeah, it's all good. How are you?
Can't anybody better than the weather.
Is it bad up there?
Well, it's been with the wind's getting up. We just started to spit on the rain there. It was cold wind, you know.
Yeah, we had a bit of sun today. We were lucky, but apparently it's going to piss down tomorrow.
Oh, I did manage to get some washing on the line today, like.
Yeah, I ain't got a fucking line because I live in a flat and we got no gardens, so it's like one of those areas in the other room. Like you got to have the windows open. It's as good as it gets.
I'm all right. I live in a bungalow. I've got a big back garden.
Nice. Fuck me, I tell you what. The old days when we had a back garden, we'd have had a barbecue as well. But hey, fuck it. Bollocks.
I've just given a barbecue away.
Have you?
I've just given one away. I didn't have one of them. Didn't have a gas color. Didn't have one of them. The gas with it. Like,
right. So one a cold one. Do you know what I like about barbecues? They silently do exactly what a vegan does to us. Vegan will tell you that I'm a vegan. I don't eat meat. You put a barbecue on, you tell them you do. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm saying that, man. I was going to say I didn't know many of them, but yeah, the last next door, the old lady next door, she's vegan, like, but she's vegetarian.
Yeah, selectively vegetarian. Yeah. I tell you what.
Give her this. She makes a mean dumplings. She made us dumpling broth of the day. It was absolutely beautiful.
Fucking eat it. You know, if they're good at cooking, no matter what it is. I mean, if it's vegan stuff and it tastes all right or whatever, fucking eat it. Unless it gives you the farts.
Check that. I was brought down the lot this year, and I've been pulling chicken's eggs for years and eating down the garden. I hope that would cope with you.
Mate, when I go down the butchers, I order up so much fucking sausages and pies because they make their own pies and stuff down there. He says, you're never going to get on with a vegan, are you? I went, well, he said, you're one of the biggest carnivores I fucking know. I'm like, well, you're not going to get massively fat from just eating meat alone, are you? So I try and lump up on the meat rather than the carbs, but it doesn't really do a lot, but fucking whatever. But yeah. All right, hang on a minute. Go on. Sorry.
My third wife, she was a vegetarian, like. But if I went to fish up on a Friday, she used to always eat all the batter off my fish.
She ate the batter off your fish? I haven't been having a word about that. That's the fucking best part. Well, it's not the best part, but you know what I mean.
So I used to slide a small one in for the bands and pinch it up, like, you know.
Fuck it, I tell you what, right? You know that Jack Sprat would eat no fat, his wife would eat no lean. I think, you know when you get something like, she says, I'm not interested. And you said, well, I'm going to eat it. And she went, fine. And then she comes in for it's called the shit test. What it is she'll go for your chips, even though she says she's not hungry, to test how caring you are, how you'll put up with shit, right? And whether you'll push it back. Now, when she gets a knife or a fork straight through the hand, because that's the natural response, isn't it, right? She knows that the shit test failed. But she won't then take the piss in bed. She won't steal all the fucking quilt, and she won't be an utter cunt. So you got to stamp it out early, all right? By the way, for people watching this is sense of humor, Okay, not everything I'm saying is to be literal, so don't go and stick a knife or a fork through your wife's hand. Apparently, it's not good.
Oh no, I'm a widower now. She died years ago.
Oh, it's not so good. Yeah.
Oh no, it was many years ago. How young was 12 and he's 53 now. So, it was a long time ago.
Do you know they take the best and leave the rest, don't they? So that's me fucked. I'm gonna be here for ages.
The thing is, well, she couldn't even cook to save her life either. I'd come in from Grafton, we never need tea made for us.
Fuck.
So one Christmas I bought that. You remember that Delia Smith?
Yeah.
Cookbook. So I buys her that like an half a Christmas box. I wish I'd never bought it now.
How'd it go?
It didn't half it when she hit me over the back of the head with it.
Hey, it could have been worse, mate. You could have given her a vacuum cleaner. Can you imagine that round the back of the head?
No, she thought that fucker was an ornament. She used to hang things on it.
Do you know what? I tell you what, I don't think I've ever been with a woman that couldn't cook. I mean, there are some women that are just like the best cooks in the world, right? They're usually my mate's missuses rather than mine, right? Mine could get by, all right? So Caitlin's mum, she could cook basic stuff, right? And also my last long-term Mrs. Karen, she could cook. However, the one after that, not really. And then since that, it's just been me on my own. But I've been invited around to Winston Smith, right? Now he's actually the cook in his house. I went around there and the fucking food, you don't want to leave. But I end up stuffed because I can't eat as much these days as I used to. But yeah, women that can cook are worth their weight in gold because looks will fade, right? And obviously you're going to change shape, but a fucking bird that can cook is banging.
And plus the thing, there's an army will march on his stomach. You know what I mean?
Exactly that.
Some army bait. It hasn't been that good, like.
Yeah, keep him fed and show him a bit of love, and he'll be good as gold in theory.
You see, I mean, when I worked away from home, like on pipelines and that, you know, and we opened the sticks and stuff like that. Miles from anywhere, so we used to cook for ourselves. They got the stage where that's right. So I had 2 big frying pans, and everything went in the frying pan. Everybody got
I've seen this.
I used to feed 14 blokes a day. You know what I mean? So
couldn't be too bad.
And I wasn't even the bloody cook.
I watched the thing that says I'll take the high road, right? And it was about a couple of 4 lads that were driving up these Scottish roads, tiny little roads in the middle of Scotland to this dam, and they had to take cement there on the back of this, roped and sheeted, right, on these really, really rickety old 1950s trucks, right? They had to do this run twice a day, and they lived in a siding, right, in an old carriage with a wood burner, right, and this old boy, fucking lump of a man, right, massive cunt, right, and he would go past the shops, right, and he'd get all the raw meat and everything, and they cook it every day at a time because there was no fridge. Right, and he'd cook up like you. They go off and wash, and it'd be in this fucking huge couple of pans, and that'd be it. Big lumps of meat, and a little bit of veg, but big lumps of meat, and that'd be it. And then they play cribbage overnight.
What I used to do, like I used to go to local butchers, and I used to say, "Look, what you want? I'm going to be in here every single day. I've got 14 men to feed. Like sometimes I'd be 10, depends who was on the job, like And I used to go and say, I would say, like, I want like 40 sausages. 40 rashers of bacon, how many eggs are needed, you know, black pudding.
Yeah.
Sometimes I've got the steak and that.
Something you could fucking work on.
I used to sit, I used to set it away. We used to take us maybe 3/4 of an hour, half an hour. It took a lot. Lads that, you know, because we only could eat when the job let us eat, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you have to do it in shifts as well.
Awfully, you know?
So, yeah, you couldn't feed them all in one hit, so they'd have to sit down, eat, and then wash that lot and feed the next lot.
We just sat on the side of the road on the hedge, put in a long line, you know. I even had one of them little triangles to bang it, you know. Said my bait was ready.
Do you know what? I worked on the railway, and I had to go all up there the country. And what I did was on the back of this escort van at the door, I put this thing down. I had a gas cooker, and I'd be cooking myself up up there. And it'd do every fucker's nutting because they didn't stop at the garage or whatever, and I'm having fresh bacon sandwiches or whatever. But yeah, banging. I loved it. That was
it wouldn't have been long before the Shane Kenny McMahon one now.
I tell you what, you can't beat a decent bit of meat cooking away in a pan. Fucking cool on some.
Well, seeing as we're out in the sticks nearly all the time, and obviously we country lads that come from. I'm a PVL, a pit village that come from a little village in County Durham, you know.
Yeah.
And we were always up the fields catching rabbits and hares and that, like. So we used to always some of the lads, we all from the same village, took a few lurches with us, or a couple of terriers,
Yeah.
and grabbing the net, so we had fresh meat off the field as well, you know. But some of the farmers used to come walking past and they'd be like, would look in like, what's the matter, like, mate? He says, oh, I've got 4 lambs missing, like, you know. So
Yeah.
no, double us, like, you know. But it never was, like.
But they'd be happy for you to do all the rabbit stuff because that was vermin, wasn't it?
Oh, aye.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean,
some of the lads, if we come across the little farms and that, used to be with the rats, you know.
Mm.
Say, well, Jack Russell's
Jack
there.
Russell, straight down the hole. Yeah.
Right, I've got a Jack. On about Jack Russell's, I've got a one here with me now. I went the little fella. And he had his first kill of the year today. He got his shell of blackbird. And he's about, even a year and a half yet. Got a bloody blackbird. I'm sitting in the back kitchen. He walks in with a dead blackbird in his dog.
But that's all they are. Honestly, those little fuckers. They're choppy little bastards, but they'll go straight down a hole after a rat, no problem at all.
All right, that's what he's bred for. Well, I'll tell you too, he's a stud dog. He used to be bred off, you know. He has to say it up.
I'll tell you what, that's a tough job for him, isn't it? Knocking the back out of every other dog going. Fuck it, I bet he must be gutted.
No, he hasn't been lined up yet. Like, he's only like 13 months, or maybe 14 months, like he is now.
Yeah.
He's
so what age has it got to be before you put him out to work?
He's due now. It's usually, you have the bitches, he's about an age for a bitch.
Yeah.
But usually about 13, 14, so he's due one now, like, and I so, well, the lad who's dog it is, I keep his dog, like, he's one of his stud dogs, but it's like my house dog now, like, garden dog.
Yeah.
And he was saying, he says, he has to get some lined up, but he has to pick the right bitch, you know what I mean? Like a good pedigree bitch.
Yeah.
To line with him, like, you know. So I'm just waiting for another film. He'll borrow him for the day, go and do what he does, and then I'll get my cut out a bit, like.
And you'll see the dog will go to sleep well that night as well. Hey, it's when he gives you the dog back and he's smoking a Marlboro going, yeah, it's not a bad day out.
I'll tell you what, he wants a cigar and be like Churchill with his bottle of whiskey and what the hell, a cigar. He win it, like.
Can you imagine? He'd be like, when we going out again? Like, no, not yet, mate. Not yet.
Well, I'm supposed to be checking them up there because I don't live far from the jails, you know.
Yeah.
They're up my back, you know, I'm a couple of miles away, like 5 or 6. And I've had him up there, like, so just to see what he works like on his own, you know, in the heather.
Yeah.
There's plenty of grouse up there. Like, he pushes grouse and that, like, you know.
Well, he could get you something to eat then, can he?
Well, I never kept it going now, like, mate, I just sit in the dog, like, you know.
Well, yeah, he'll catch it. Fucking, he'll come back with a few punchy wounds in it, but he'll be all right.
If he's got a bitty blackbird a day, won't he? You know what I mean?
Yeah, those fuckers move quick, so he'll be all right. Yeah.
I mean, last year when I got him, he got, I have a big back garden, like, you know.
Yeah.
And he got 3 hedgehogs, 2 blackbirds, a pair of cushits, wood pigeons, and little sparrows and that. He's
a natural fucking born killer, isn't he? Bless him.
Well, but that's what you're bred for, aren't they?
Well, yeah, that's exactly what they're there for. They're there to go fucking catch your meat for you, isn't it? Anyway, me old China, I'm going to get on to the next caller and get because I guess there's a few that's going to want to talk about politics, I reckon. So we'll let them on, and then at some point about 10 o'clock, I'll be knocking it on the head, I would imagine, because I'm fucking knackered.
Yeah, I didn't know what I was talking. I can see you on the screen. I didn't know I was talking to you. All right, I'll let you go. Well, I'll tell you the truth. I was going to ask you about the local elections for the council elections.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
I might show some sign.
What's your hang on?
So
what's your options there at your local council elections?
Well, tell you the truth, I'm independent, like, because everybody it's like half Labour, half independence.
Yes.
So,
see, the thing is,
well, I'm standing as independent because obviously we're in the red wall and that, like.
Yeah.
But Labour's despised now, like half the village is for and half the village is against.
Yeah.
And obviously Charlie will never ever get up here, like. We're still deep, like.
If you vote for, say, for instance, an independent, you are voting. The chances of them getting in are remote, but you will get Labour in by doing that. But at least you didn't have to put your tick next to Labour. So,
well, that's it. That's what I was at my sister's birthday the other night. It was about 20 of us, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And we were just the topic come up, like, are we gonna vote for, like, you know? And to a man and a woman, it was all reform, like. But I'm a bit iffy about that because I think that ties, when them hope not hate people going into them.
Anybody
some of them.
who listens to Hope Not Hate is fucking soft
yeah.
cunt. I mean, I've got my doubts about him. He's too poshly spoken, right? He was pushing the fucking, what's it called, the Ukraine shit. He was pushing the other thing, you know what I mean? Right? He's just, he just wants to be mainstream.
Well, that's it. He's a paid man, isn't he? You know what I mean? I mean, you all are.
He's a tough, and he's been for the grind, hasn't he? At the end of the day, he's one of them.
Well, I mean, he went out of Ukraine and all that, waved the flag over there and that, like, but I think if you're moving above that as well, So,
that's why I wouldn't trust a fucker.
But the thing is about going independent, obviously being County Durham.
Yeah.
What we did the last elections, we got like half the seats in the county council. That runs like Durham itself, the county.
Right.
So on the county council, we got like half the shout. In fact, to tell you the truth, I think we were about 60-40. But what we found though, there's a lot of ex-Labour people coming in as independent, and then they like footage, sneaky bakies like. I didn't trust them. Well, the ones who were Labour and then straight away come into independent. I'm thinking, nah. They've been independent from Labour to independent years ago, like I was. I would say we say, like, I wouldn't say no to them, like.
Yeah, if they've only just pissed off over, they're still the same. What I don't understand, right, is if somebody says that they're Labour, you're Labour through and through, right? A bit like you're Conservative through and through. You don't change. So if you can walk across the chamber from Labour to Conservative or vice versa, you're not either one. You're just there for you're here for the beer kind of shit. You know what I mean?
So numbers up, aren't you?
Well, I wouldn't trust any of those cunts in that place. Sweep it out. Get rid of every one of them. Get some fucking work. The best people to put into politics are people who don't want to be there. You know what I mean? Like some bloke who's a good, honest man who's running a business well. Say, sorry, mate, your country needs you. In you go. What you want is people who are old-fashioned, traditional, love their country, blunt, fucking blunt. The sort of person
straight talking.
Exactly that. Somebody's brutally straight talking, doesn't fucking mix it, right? So literally,
you think about it, Lee Anderson, right? He obviously Labour lad, just like me. He's a PE state lad, and he was Labour. Member of the party, one for them. I was a Labour Party member in 74 to 79, and a young man for 38 years. But I look at him, and he's come from Labour, then to Tories, and now he's gone to Reform. So sometimes I look at lads like that, and I think to myself, well, if I had chased everything, I don't want to, whatever they want the best, they'll go for it,
But he's bounced about so much, and he's gone from different parties that stand for very vastly different things. And that's the part that bothers me about him, right? It's like you've gone from Labour, right? Now you bounced across to what would have been more conservative. Then you've gone to something else. And I'm like, but, at least he speaks his mind about the old medical stuff.
Well, that's what I was thinking. He seems to be a straight talking lad. Like, I mean, that's what I'll give him the thumbs up for that one. Like, but when there been that many parties, at least he's giving them all a try. So he's going to pick the one he wants, like,
Well, at the end of the day, if he keeps talking about the thing he's talking about, which I can't talk about on here, which is amazing, then it's good enough. If the other thing is, some of these are paid opposition, right? Not saying he is, but if they're paid opposition and they're talking the truth, great. Listen to what they're saying if they're talking about the truth. But I wouldn't want to put my politics in their hands. Therefore, I wouldn't want to say, for instance, rely on them to pull through at the right time if they were paid opposition. But if they're talking the facts about this and that and the other, like Farage, he'll talk a lot of sense. But if he was running a political party, the moment it was actually going to achieve something, he fucking pulled the rug out from underneath it. So this is the problem.
That's what you last time, didn't you? With your kid.
We're fucked, aren't we, love? That's where we are, right? We need a lot more seriously honest fucking, like, blunt Northerners, blunt Welshmen, blunt fucking Cornishmen, blunt fucking all sorts, right? A few fucking country boys in the West and all the rest of it. Yeah, ones that have fucking suffered a bit in life, right? And have gone without, that understand the value of a quid, right? Get them in there. The ones that aren't going to fucking literally just get blackmailed or sold. You know, these people that come and they lobby the fuck out and we'll make you a rich man. You just do the right thing. Well, people like me who've never had any money, and I don't give a fuck
That's
about
it,
money.
but we know that, don't we?
Yeah.
It's a shame, aren't we?
I've been
I mean,
fucking
it's like,
poverty.
it's like everything else, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's like it's a carrot and stick job, isn't it? What do you do, you know? But I think at the moment, most of us, like working lads like us, lads and lasses, we've got our backs, we're back into the corner. You know what I mean? There's nobody we can turn to party wise. I mean, Labour and Tory. I mean, I don't think they're the same party themselves. Obviously, I think if Labour gets in, which it looks like they are, it's going to be, like you said, more immigration.
Thing is, money can buy a lot of stuff, but it can't buy your integrity. It can't buy your honor, your soul, or whatever it is. So, well, it can't me anyway, right? And the worst of it is, say for instance, somebody has they get lobbied and they get bought, right, and they do the wrong thing. You can never buy back your credibility. You can never buy back your honor. You can never buy. That's gone for good, right? Now, the one thing as a poor man I understand is my name is my name, my word is my word, and that's it. You can't buy that. I can't
your
sell
word.
it,
You've got
and
to
I
give
won't.
your word.
Yeah, and
I think
you could be the richest man in the world, but your name could be
morals.
shit, can't it? Right? And you could be the poorest bloke in the world, and people know that you are about what you are. You stand by what you say, and that's it.
So that's why people sort of said to me, "Get yourself back up for the council again. We'll vote for you because you speak your mind, Jeff." So we'll clear them.
And not just that,
So
you could put a lot of pressure on people. You know what I mean?
Well, I say this, Simon. I think it's your duty to stick up for your community. And now they're about to finish work. 65 this month. I'm thinking to myself, right, well, and so what can I do for my community? Get on the council and look after the places like I did last time.
Well, get into it, yeah, and do as much as you can, because at the end of the day, there's a lot of people that don't want to do fuck all, and it's going to take people like yourself.
Well, this is it. I mean, it's like you think about it. Look at all the labour areas in the cities, the big towns, and they're all run by Muslims, aren't they?
Yep. And like they're actually going to do any good for a fucking white man? Nothing, right?
No, so play them at their own game. We'll get our councils up here, you know.
Yeah, I mean, the more of you lot you can get into any sort of position of power or working together, the better it is, because Islam's going to fuck the country hard.
Oh, aye. Especially, I mean, look, I mean, you know, Durham, and it's just the red wall, like every big village voted staunch Labour. I did myself for years, you know. But I would say the last 15 years, more and more people start to vote independent and that way. That's how we're getting such a shout now. So I was thinking, when these new because we'll have the local elections first before the general election, and I'm just thinking, if we see how it lies on these local elections, might give us some idea what the general election is going to look like, you know.
Do you remember back when the strike was on, when Scargill told them to go out without the ballot?
Yeah.
And then Kinnock didn't support it because it didn't go through the ballot. Did that cause a lot of trouble, a bit of a friction, you know, for the Red supporters?
Honest, man. Coming from a big village, you can imagine what it was like up there. And me and my uncle used to get a car full of clears, clothes, and food, like tins of food for the kids and that. And we used to drive down. Well, look, when the shit all pit, a lot of my family moved down to South Doncaster area, Doncaster area, Donny.
Yeah.
So we used to go down there, and they were all poor mans down there, South Yorkshire. So us Durham lads used to be going down as a convoy.
Yeah.
Sometimes the cops would stop us, you know, after you got your reds would pull you over. And
so you're all trying to go around the back roads, weren't you, to get into the place? Because they called you flying pickets and stuff like that. And you'd all meet up, work out which way you're going to go. So everybody takes a different route, and the filth would be on one route, and you'd all be on CBs going there and fucking go around the houses and stuff. And they were trying to turn you all back, weren't they? And
we had to be a bit sneaky beaky about it, like sometimes.
Yeah, fair fucks though. And I mean, those coppers made a lot of money out of that.
Oh, I did it.
Fucking the London coppers.
Down in Edinburgh, I have some family down there, and all the shops wouldn't serve them. But this little grocery shop on the corner, like fruit and veg, you know.
Yeah.
And they used to come out and give the cops apples and oranges, and we said, "Oh, what they doing, like, you know?" Because no other shop would serve them. But after the strike, nobody ever shopped in that shop there again. So
fucking right.
Down, but we're off, you know?
But that's solidarity.
It's community spirit, isn't it? You think about it.
Did you you remember we had that New Age traveller problem back in the day? Well, they were causing all sorts of shit down here, like, you know, in Wiltshire and that. After the coppers had finished policing the pit strikes, they went down and smashed fuck out of these convoys in the Battle of the Beanfield and just trashed a lot of them, set fire to them, destroyed them and stuff. Yeah, they were fucking, those coppers were some sort of people. Mind you, in saying that, the New Age travellers were a pain in the ass. But yeah,
when you used to rock up the hallway, you used to keep an eye on your locking switches and we've been down pinchy ends and all that kind of shit. I tried to free them.
Yeah, they're a fucking nightmare. Anyway, me old China, I will get on to the next and I will say give us a call back in soon, all right?
No worries, bunny lads. All the best.
All right, you take it steady, buddy. See you in a bit, mate. See, some of them couldn't understand. I could understand him fine. Oh, ow. Steve Laws for PM. Yeah, I'll go with that. Okay. That'd make for an interesting concept, wouldn't it? Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Yeah,
Hello?
You can hear the live stream in the background. If you can turn that down, you'll be able to hear me. All right, bub.
All right, mate. Done. Sorry. I just just thought I'd ring and say, like, went about running people like normal people in power. Imagine if Fred Dibner got in.
Fucking legendary, right? Well, can you imagine how the Green Party would get on with him fucking implementing more coal fucking power stations? Brilliant.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No, and every one of those fucking coal fucking pits that had a viability in it, he fucking opened the cunts back up. That'd be a winner, right? We'd have fucking 4 times a year. There would be compulsory steam engines trolling through every fucking village going. Oh, just wonderful.
Health and safety would go through. Would be chucked in bin.
I don't think he'd do a lot for fucking battered women or domestic violence, but fuck it. No man's perfect, is it? But yeah, he had some answers to stuff.
No. But it would be a real clash of like cultures, if you get what I mean. Like, you know.
Yeah, all these different fucking chimneys. He'd be teaching kids how to get up there and fucking bring them down brick by brick.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest.
I want to ask you as well. Have you seen that video on YouTube of where there's a private security firm goes to repossess a house?
I haven't.
Have a look for it.
I'm assuming they're doing it all completely illegally, yeah?
Well, it wasn't legal, and none of them. They all looked from a certain, as if they'd just come off a boat. None of them spoke English. One of them got on a bloody dinner jacket, and they took the house and were living there.
Yeah, here's where I want to say something, and I can't.
Yeah. But anyway, a lot of people rallied round and went back up, and what they did was illegal and got them out. Right. So there was about 20 police cars there. Have a look at the video. It's quite interesting, because what I don't get is this private security firm. None of them were wearing badges. They couldn't speak English.
That's
and they were taking
but a body there. And anybody who has a go at them is going to get called a racist. Not that I would care. Put it this way, if they were trying to take my fucking house off me, right, it would be a very different thing.
But they were moving in. They moved in. That's what I couldn't. Oh my God! Oh, talk
you
about
remember
getting
Northern
your blood
Ireland
up,
when they were getting purged out of their homes, but before they left, they fucking. I can't say it on here either. If you know your history with Northern Ireland, when the Catholics were getting taken out of an area, or the Protestants were getting taken out of an area, to make sure the houses didn't go to the opposition, they made them unlivable. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
But these fuckers, right? Where I go onto this, because they're running the cables or the power lines all the way from Hinkley Point C right up to Bristol, and all of these power lines have to have like a service road going to them so that they could get the pylon in there and erected, and then they have to put the cables in. So all these roads we had to run the stone in, but on every checkpoint, for say for instance this track goes across what would have been a bridleway or something like that, they have to have a security. Every one of them is of a different color. Most of them can't even fucking speak a word of fucking English. They're all bone idle, useless cunts, right? And you're like, where did you get these little fucking gems from? And they're part of the thing from the government where they're like, you will use this and we'll subsidize you. And they may be shit, but just fucking use them anyway. Bit like the security. When it goes wrong, mate, these fuckers, well, I mean, God only knows how it's going to go, because they're trying to drum up a race war. Our government, the whole fucking deal is trying to drum a race war, and it will. We don't want one.
Oh, sorry, yeah. I phoned it a few weeks ago and we spoke about it then. Because it is going to come to an end at some point now. It's going to. I mean, whatever happens on St. George's Day, we'll have to wait and see. But, you know.
But just on a completely different note, so I've just been sent this by Charmed, and it says here, holy shit, Iran just launched a massive drone attack on Israel. Okay. Biden to go into meeting with Situation Room with his national security advisors. Apparently it's going off. Who knew? So we'll have to keep an eye on that. But we've got a problem, right? We've been all through the Middle East and fucked the place right up for our overlords, for the cabal. We'll put it that, right? And now these people are displaced and decided that they want to pile over and get fed, watered, and everything else off the people that did all this. You don't expect them to come over here and be grateful after we bomb fuck out their country. And I suppose that when you look at their country back in the day, before the Americans and us and whoever else went through there on behalf of some other bunch of cunts, right? And wrecked the fucking place, they're going to hate us. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. Was it Iran or Iraq? I mean, the place was beautiful.
Iran was like
before the Muslims went in.
You know how we say like Turkey is like the beautiful part of the south for here, right? And then you look at the Riviera, and you look at the French Riviera, and Paris was supposed to be cosmopolitan back in the day. Well, Iran was the most cosmopolitan part of the Middle East back in the day, and you had women looking beautiful. I've shown the pictures over again. I mean, these are old enough to be my mother, like, at the end of the day. But if you went back in the day when they were 20, you were like, well, fuck me, she's fit. She's like,
I mean, they were dressed in Western clothes, and the place was immaculately clean. It was beautiful. I don't know all the history of it, but when the Muslims went back in again, they just destroyed the bloody place.
Well, nothing new there. Right, I've got a call from Angry Bootnet, buddy. So if I get off, I'll take his call, mate, and I'll speak to you in a bit. All right, bud?
Okay, mate. No worries.
See you in a bit, bye. Bootius Neckius, how are we, love?
Simon, how are you?
Not too bad. I wonder, you're the first person to get through on this. So there you go. You've just broken the cherry.
All right. Well, if you can't tell, it's Matt the Bootneck, obviously.
Yeah, that's why I said Bootius Neckius. I knew it was you straight away. It's even got your picture. Which is,
has it?
Yeah. So it comes up with the Angry Bootnet picture. That's why straight away I went, fucking Bootius Neckius. So, yes. So.
All right. How are you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, just get by. I'd love to be fucking fiercely optimistic, mate, but it's all right. That's where we are.
I'm astounded at your stamina. I went out for like an hour to get some tinnies and came back, and here you are. I'm like, oh, it's hardcore, Simon. The Reverend doesn't talk about clearly.
Mate, there have
to give you strength.
There have been 10-hour drinking sessions before, I might add. But anyway, look, I've heard that it's just starting to kick off. So does that mean America's going to pile into something then? Because what was it got? It says, just going back here, Iran drone strike on Israel. Not good. Obviously, Biden is probably unaware of what's happened, right? But the rest of them are all there looking at it. And so, what do you reckon is going to happen then? Do you reckon it's going off then with Iran?
Well, the thing is, it's going to be controversial for me to say this, but because I don't sound like a warmonger, Iraq was a terrible mistake. But we do kind of owe the Iranians a twatting. When I was out there,
go on, son. Yeah, I don't like cunts anyway.
When I was out there, they reckon 80% of the complex IEDs that we were finding that were killing our lads were Iranian made. They were fighting the whole time. It was them that were arming the insurgents, the Mahdi militia, and Al Qaeda. The Iranians were building the IEDs, shipping them over. Basically, thousands of the US dead in Iraq was a result of the Iranians.
So you are on the slap then?
You can't blame the Americans for wanting to fucking twat them.
No.
It's a shot,
sounds like a reasonable request after all that. Fuck it, give him a kicking. How's this going to affect the rest of us, though, isn't it?
Oh, it might really kick off soon. I do think as I've told you before, I think that there's no point crying about it because ultimately, you know, like Gandalf says to Merry in Lord of the Rings, like nobody wants to live through such times, but you get what you're given. And I think that throughout history, it's always gone the same way, hasn't it? You have a few decades after a big kickoff where everybody's thankful and grateful and reads the history books, and then you start to get decadent and forget what's gone on, and then you inevitably get the slump, and it goes round and round and round and round it goes. And I think that we're just about at the right time for it to massively kick off again. We've got nihilistic, and we've forgotten. You know, the boomers are starting to die out, and we've forgotten what we had.
Yeah, because when you look at it,
now is
we had since the Second World War, we haven't experienced much over here, have we? I mean, our boys have gone to different conflicts, like you've had Aden, you've had Iraq 1 and 2, you've had the Falklands, you've had this sort of stuff. But here, we haven't had any great problems. But I think that we're going to experience it a bit more now. Hang on a second, I've got
that's what I'm saying. I think we were on the fumes, weren't we? We were on the fumes. Like you and I are old enough, we're about the same age, where we were taught about the war, we remember it, and we heard the stories on our granddad's knees. But I think we've been on the fumes of WW2 for decades, and then the noughties and the last 2 decades, people just don't care anymore. So we're about due another massive kickoff then, aren't we? And it'll be awful for about 10 years. And then the people who survive, it'll be proud and patriotic and thankful, and then in another 70 years' time, it'll kick off again. I just think it's just part of the cycle
it's a circle,
life.
isn't it?
And with you one.
It is a circle, and we're going to get it basically. And they're all for thinning down the numbers because that's what these wars usually do. So you know,
100%.
Yeah, sorry, just checking you're still there because I'm getting all these different numbers, noises coming out of this fucking phone at the moment. It's like beep and boop and whatever. But I'm not looking forward to it. But and here's the interesting thing, right? If we actually ended up going to some sort of war, you know, the new to the reservation, do you think they'll be jumping up to fucking help?
Well, that is exactly the problem, isn't it?
Like, because when we fuck off to march off to war, those cunts will take over.
And this is what I mean. You and I would have been the backbone of the armed forces. Like, I know you never served, but like basically our normal working class patriotic lads were the backbone of the armed forces. And if it kicked off, blokes like you and me would be the ones who deal with it. And now, after being completely demoralised for the last 2 decades, now we haven't got that will to fight. And that's what I keep telling everybody who knows anything about warfare. Like, the Vietnamese beat the Americans. They had the will to fight. It's more important than money and manpower and anything else is the will. If you've got the will to tough it out through anything, you can fight anybody. And they proved it. We have not got the will to fight anymore. The people who should be serving won't because we've been totally demoralised, i.e. the white working class.
Yep.
And the people who we've imported feel zero loyalty to our country or our culture, and they'll tell you themselves. Have you seen all them viral videos of them asking like young immigrant kids, like, "Oh, would you want to play for England one day?" And they're all like, "No, I want to play for Lesotho. I want to play for Nigeria." Like, ultimately, they have no loyalty to this place. Tens of millions of people that have moved there in the last 20 years, they wouldn't fight, and the working classes have lost it. So, I'm hope that our allies, the Americans, and that massive military budget, the drones and the technology will win the war for us.
Yeah, because you don't want human beings. You don't want human beings getting fucked up again on behalf of somebody else's rich war. But it says here, I've just had this sent to us. The Israel government's doomsday plane has taken off and is the only plane leaving Israel. Politically carrying Netanyahu in cabinet. This is very bad. Yeah, I'd say so. And it got underneath. Jordan announces it will shoot down any drones entering its airspace. It's going off nicely here, my son. Yeah, might be worth getting a few more cans and staying up tonight. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Oh, mate, I told him, my wife was literally talking about this. I rang her when I was walking in the shop. And I said, like, "Oh, I'm prepping. Like, we need to get a bunker. We need to get more ammunition. We need to get fucking tooled up as best we can because I do think it's going to kick off soon." Me, as I said, historically with Q1, we've been on the fumes for a few decades. We're the weakest we've ever been, and the battle lines have already been drawn. Right, the Russians, Chinese, the Iranians, and all the Europeans, the Anglos, and the Americans on the other side of it. I think we're very close to kicking off. Yeah.
Do you remember the First World War happened? And then I believe it was in between that and the Second World War. Was it that or the First World War? the people who were around saying that there were so many different empires all vying for superiority that it was literally a tinderbox, and it was only going to take something. And it was Archduke Ferdinand allegedly was what kicked it off. But deep down, there were so much problems behind the scenes that it wasn't going to take much anyway. And we're at that same position now. I think every country's got a problem. So yeah. I mean,
it's a powder keg, and the stars are aligning for a massive global kickoff. I think. The only thing I can hope for is on all the projections in all the comics and the sci-fi and stuff like that. It seems like Britain and the west coast of America don't do too badly. It seems like they get fucked in Asia and Africa.
This is it. What's going to be conscription now? They sit behind their computer and fly a fucking drone. Is that how it is? Because half of the cunts. You were in that phone call earlier on where he said he was giving some fucking, I don't know, we'll call him a grunt, some shit. And the grunt said, please don't swear at me. It offends me. Fuck off. Really? You just got fucking punched.
Honestly, it's not fair. I only joined up in 99. We used to get told we were soft in 99 because they were like, oh, if this was the 70s, I'd have just beat the shit out of you. Now I just make you crawl through the nettles with your balls out for an hour. We thought we were.
I believe there's clubs that still actually offer that, like the a Scottish masochist party where they sit on thistles with no underwear on, that sort of shit. But you look at it, right? In the old days, they just used to beat the shit out of you, or they got you fucking the rest of they punished the entire fucking group, so they beat the shit out of you. Either way, you're going to get a beat unless you sorted yourself.
And you get this again because we're of a similar age. It's the kids don't understand that the reason that the boomers did would discipline the kids is because you're doing them a favor. You discipline your kids not because you hate them. You slap their ass because you're training them to do things that you know are good for them. It's like they make you eat vegetables not because they like torturing you because they know you hate sprouts. They do it so you don't get fucking scurvy because you just want to live off Pop-Tarts. This is logical.
Chicken nuggets and chips. Well, that's going to fix you, isn't it? Yeah. But
exactly. Because we don't know what's good for us. And the politicians getting involved in military matters, it's what's fucked it up because they view it as bullying. But when you've been through it, you know they're not bullying you. They're not hazing you and torturing you because they don't like you. They're doing it because they're getting you ready for war. It's got to be hard. Or it's pointless.
Do you remember when I don't know about you, but my old days, I said, I don't like that. Well, fine, go without. And you did. That was it. And you learned to go without food. Right? Yeah. My parents didn't like doing it, and I was tougher than them, but they stuck by their guns. When I got kicked out and I was in the car and I was fucking sleeping in there were occasional night I didn't eat, but I was fucking used to it. And,
stubborn.
I was fucking stubborn. I'd rather not eat than fucking showing it. I was cutting my nose off to spite my own face, but it still felt good. But I was one of those kinds. I could get by because I had been brought up by parents who weren't afraid to just be a bit tougher on me. Fucking these kids today
good for you in the long run.
Can't go without a snack between meals because they'll faint. Fuck off. It's hot. But yeah. Oh, mate.
Yeah. And that's what Jordan Peterson said, didn't he? Jordan Peterson said all of the really damaged people that he's treated in his career, he'd always try and get to the root of the problem with the parents. And they said they would always say, I was just trying to protect my kid. And he said he always told them, your job as a parent is not to protect the children. It's not. Your job as a parent is to get them ready for life without you. Because if they follow the natural order of things, you'll die and they'll be left by themselves.
Experience your controlled hardship on them. So here's how it is, kid. You're going without. You will suffer.
Cruel to be kind, don't you?
Yeah, there's a fucking song about that. Well, it wasn't, but it worked. Cruel to be kind in the right measure, and it is. Fuck it. All these pussies at the moment out there. Oh, hang on, I've done the wrong thing. Which button have I got? Because at the moment, you still, you're still there. I've got you speaking to me on what's it called, WhatsApp, but they can call in still on the normal line. So I was just trying to put that phone down, and I actually answered the call. So there would have been two of you on there. That was really fucking confusing. I'm not very good at this tech, son. Anyway.
Well, if other people are ringing, I'll do one. I just want to ring up and tell you, mate. I still support your other channel, and I do still always listen to you when I get a chance. I think if it wasn't for YouTube doing the usual shenanigans, you'd have fucking 10 times the amount of followers I think you deserve if you're articulate and a logical, sensible, reasonable fucking fella, regardless of what the twats in Silicon Valley.
I like watching your streams because I'm like, yeah, I said that. I said that. I'd have said that. I just sit back and listen to it, and it's like, yeah. We're on the same page.
Yeah,
but it's common sense.
You're much more sensible and reasonable than I'm more of a comical jester than an actual serious political speaker. I think you could actually get into politics. I think.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine how badly that would go? Really? Just
well, you're not a paedophile, so you can't be.
Yeah, I can't mix with you lot. You're fucking like young'uns. Now, where's that fucking? You imagine I go to the bar. Or you go and fuck off, you nonce. Go on, you're fucking wrong. And I want a pint. I don't want it turned off by you fucking wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not a pedo and you don't own a gimp suit, so you can't be in Parliament.
I don't do drugs. I don't gamble. I'm not interested in smoking. You're gonna you're fucking winning me over. Oh, we'll give you money. I don't need any. I've never had any, so I don't need any now. Yeah. Oh, we're gonna fit you up with something.
Incorruptible.
Get it? We're gonna fucking pretend that you've done something and fit you up. Not before I fucking get to a few of you first and do something. No, I'll leave it at that because I can't say anymore. Yes. All right, buddy. Well, look.
All right.
Look, call in on the
mate.
next one. All right, buddy.
Yeah. Cheers, Simon.
Take steady. See you in a bit, buddy. Bye. Well, it's flat out tonight. Hello. If I've put the phone down you before, I was on what was it called? WhatsApp, so I couldn't take your call. But anyway, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad at all. Say I'm a recent follower of your channels and everything like that. I was literally out there looking for someone who had the kind of same mindset as me, because I'm considered extreme right wing because I believe that the invasion we've got going on at the moment in this country is kind of going unseen by the sheeple.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was nice to actually see a breath of fresh air from you, to see that other people are actually noticing it, not just myself.
You're not. I mean, you're not far fucking right. You're not. I'll put a quid on you're not. Go back to the 80s. Find far right then, right? You know what I mean? That would have been far right. Yeah. Don't forget, right? You and me, say for instance, believe now pretty much what we believed then. The common sense. Did you ever see we'll call it a rug actually, right? So that you ever see it where they pull the rug from somebody, right? We stood up, but the rug, say for instance, is divided from left to right and centrist in the middle. You and I would have been hovering somewhere around center right. They've ripped the rug out from underneath us. So we've now, where we're stood, it's still exactly the same. So our politics are the same, but the rug's moved. So it says far right under our feet, but that's not what we are. I come up with my friend actually came up with it and told me to use it, which is true. We're not far right, we're force right. They've changed
and always right by the looks of it at the moment.
When they change the political spectrum, right, and they move everything without asking, and you stay where you are, you're going to fall into a different category.
Exactly that. I mean, if they keep changing the goalposts, then we're obviously going to be put as the opposition into different areas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, is the best way of describing it. But I mean, I lived in America for a while. Job wise, I can't. I mean, I take it you're ex-squaddy.
No,
by the way, some of the stuff you say.
No,
I presume you are.
No, I'm not serious. No, I wish I'd gone in. It probably would have done me a bit more good, but I didn't. I knew.
Well, I'm ex-squaddy in that, and some of the stuff you say in that, I kind of relate to in that, and you have a few squaddy terminology. And a few things you come out with, and I'm a bit like, okay, maybe he is, maybe he isn't.
No, I'm not. I've done a lot of studying on the military because of, I was thankful and impressed about everything they've done in the past for us, and interested about how wars worked, and good, bad, and indifferent. Because I don't ever have a problem with a bloke who's on the street with a gun in his hand or on the floor. They're lions that are led by, and it depends, not all the time, great people. And when we look at some of the wars that our people have been pushed into, and we now know the reason they were pushed into it, I feel angry on their behalf because there were wars that we shouldn't have been part of, right? Or when you're out there guarding a fucking oil refinery, what's the fuck's that got to do with us?
And you know what? Obviously, I'm anonymous at the moment, which is great. So obviously, I came out in 2009, got into the private sector in 2010. So I'm still doing that role. So I'm going over to the oil and gas sector, is what I'll say.
But in the private sector, what you're doing is different. That's
and it's about money. It's plain and simple. Plain and simple. It's about money. It's not to do politics or anything like that. It's all to do with money. And a lot of people in my line of work, I mean, people call us mercenaries or whatever you want to call us, but we're primary contractors or private security contractors, and a lot of us basically believe and are on the same level as you are. With a lot of things that happen in the UK, there's more of us than people would like to actually admit, or the government would admit, or the media would admit. Which is, so you have got a backing on a lot of the views you have.
I was trying to explain this to somebody earlier on. That there's a lot more of us, because he goes, "Oh, you're on your own. Your thoughts. Do you think other people agree?" I went, "Yes, I do, and I know they do." But the thing is, with the private sector, you should earn. I mean, what was it back in 2004, 2005, sometime around then? I think somebody had come out and they were para, and they were then over bodyguarding. It's £300 a day. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, the money we're on. I mean, it's not like it used to be. I mean, when I came out and got back into it in 2010, it was rockstar money. It was rockstar money, and hence why we used to live it up and all that sort of stuff. So it has dropped down a bit with the influx of Eastern Europeans, which they're very capable people, and I will never, because I got a lot of friends who are Eastern Europeans doing this role, but even they are under the same how can I say it, umbrella as all of us. Is we're being invaded. All our countries are being invaded by, in the nicest way, and I'm probably going to get you kicked off YouTube for this, but we're being invaded by
an army of Islam.
Essentially, yeah. But we're unaware. The sheeple, as I call them, or the NPCs, because they walk around in a zombie state. They are completely unaware of what is actually happening in the world, and they're happy enough to just go along with it. And it's almost like myself. I feel like I'm on a runaway train, and there's nothing I can do about it because no one else is seeing it apart from myself. But then on your channel a few months back, I was like, oh my God, there's actually someone else out there who's, public enough to actually say what's actually happening and actually see it from my point of view.
There's a few more of us. I mean, you got the Angry Bootneck. He's just rang in. Angry Bootneck's got a channel. There's a load of others. I mean, Paz, obviously. Paz is ex-army as well. There's some of them are slightly more diplomatic than me, and some of them are less. But I'm pretty blunt because I don't give a fuck. We're way past it, aren't we? Right,
mate? Yeah. And you're putting it on the line, and that's when we get to the level we're at the moment. That's what's needed. I mean, pussyfooting around and trying to sugarcoat shit doesn't work. It really doesn't. It needs to be put exactly. It needs to be put bluntly, straightforward, and right. This is what's happening. It's because of these people. 9 times 10 is the government, and this is the outcome. And
it's like the lefties that we're talking about here, and the ones that, that you say to them, why don't you do something? I'm afraid of losing my house. I'm afraid of losing my job. Well, that's all going to happen in the future anyway. You're going to lose it either way. But if you fucking stand up and grow a set now, there is a chance that we might be able to change stuff. But all the time you got your mouth shut because you're a fucking coward, right? You leave it to cunts like me. The theory is people like you, right? They want people like you to go and fight and die for them. They want people like me to open my mouth and say what I say. And if I get locked up, well, at least it wasn't fucking me, kind of shit.
At least you're not saying it in Scotland, because you'd be fucked right now.
Yeah, but I throw it over the border. I do throw some abuse at the cunt. I mean, hams are fucking useless, you fucking unit. I mean, what's your brother just been nicked for? And at the end of the day, you're the biggest racist. That's all I'll say. No, you're the biggest racist fucking piece of shit cunt to get into that fucking parliament for a while. And what is it? You got a problem with everybody being white? Well, it's because the natural fucking color of that country is white, you racist cunt. There you go.
I mean, what is the percentage at the moment of white people in Scotland? I mean, off the top of my head, it's 90 something odd percent. I mean, it's not one. It must be at least 95 at minimum.
Yeah. So if he's got a problem, that's because he's a racist fucking cunt. It's not the word for it. But what is he going to do? Hide behind the banner of Islam, and anybody that's got a problem is Islamophobic. Look, Islamophobia, phobia, an irrational fear. There's no irrational fear
It's fear.
of a nation
And this is,
becoming
I've been
Islamic.
called multiple times Islamophobic, and I've told many times I've killed too many of them to be scared of them.
Well,
and I will be honest and blunt about that, but that is how it is.
But that's
So
obviously
there is no fear there.
in war over there. You know what it's like, and you know what they're like.
Exactly,
So,
exactly
I mean,
that.
To be honest,
And they're bringing. I'm seeing it on the streets. I mean, I'm in a nice little area called Forest of Dean in Gloucestershire.
Well, they have eyes, but not one of them faces in the same direction, right?
Exactly. It's very much Six Fingers. I mean, I'm not from the area. I've moved around a lot, but yeah, but it's very much still. I mean, if it's in the US, it'd be a deep red state.
Redneck
is the way I could possibly say it. It's the only way I could describe it. But it's lovely here. Absolutely lovely here now, but I can literally travel probably all of about 10, 15 miles somewhere, and I've literally traveled to a different country. I feel like I'm back in the Middle East.
Do you know what confused me about there? You've got Gloucester on one side where you got people in Gloucester that got Welsh accents. You got the Wales part where they got fucking Gloucester accents. It just what the fuck happened here? Did you all just fuck across the border one night and just stay there? What happened?
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened, to be fair. I mean, when lockdown was on, they shut the pubs down in England, so I literally rode my motorcycle all of about 2 miles down the road to Wales and went to the Wetherspoons, and then they shut Wales down for alcohol. So I then rode back over to England and drank. It's literally it's messed up round here. It's great. It is great in a way, but yeah, it's completely messed up.
So it'd be all right for the Welshans fucking back in the day. Remember when they used to shut the pubs on a Sunday because of religious reasons? I should imagine
exactly. They can just dart across the border. Jobs are good. Well, exactly that. Exactly that.
Western, they got on the paddle steamer and they parred over to Western from Cardiff and used to get lagged, but you know they were happy. So, but there it is. But yeah, going on. There's a lot. I've found out there's a lot of people within the forces that do watch what I say, which makes me happy because I like them. So if they like hearing what I'm saying, I am pleased. But yeah, we're fucked. So we got to say it as it is.
Oh, we are. I mean, we're beyond. I've told many people this. We are beyond the level of fucked. I mean, we're in a war at the moment in our own country with 99% of the people unaware that we're actually in a war. I mean, jihad has been declared on us.
Yeah.
Totally. I mean, I was out in Baghdad last year, and I'm breaking so many NDAs now. But I was out in Baghdad last year. I can't say too much. And we came across, whilst doing a compound sweep, of a member of ISIS who had plans and details of attacks that were going to happen in the UK. I was the only English speaker there who could read it, and I passed this on to the Iraqi government. They then passed it on to the UK government, and UK government did fuck all with it. Absolutely fuck all with it. When I got back to the UK, I got in touch with GB News. I got in touch with BBC, ITV News. They didn't want to know anything about anything at all. Nothing. I didn't even get a response from it.
Well,
we've had two terrorist attacks that have happened in the UK that the UK government have kept quiet. And I'm waiting now for the police to turn up my door saying this. And they have kept them to terrorist attacks, and they have said nothing to the UK public about it.
Well, they will if they can get away with it, and if they put a D notice on it or whatever they call it. But there was a guy who's from Australia, and he put in my chat earlier on, and it says here, because you know what happened. Obviously, there was the attack at the shopping centre where somebody from he's an immigrant, is sort of go stabby. The guy put here, he says, the traitorous Labour government in Australia removed ASIO and ASIS, our intelligence agencies, from the National Security Committee and pledged to defund the ASPI, Australian Strategic Policy Institute, to appease the CCP. I think it's important to remember that these things are in context, and an unfortunate happening happened in the shopping centre, but the government doesn't want to know or care if there's going to be an attack coming. All they want to do is basically pander to the likes of the fringe groups, the far left, and all of these militant wankers. Basically, you know, it's people who are quite easily be sacrificed. They're all, I don't know what you want to put it as, but the politicians don't look at us in the same way as we look at each other. We're just pieces of meat. We're just numbers, whatever.
Well, we've been referred to many times, if people can remember, and everyone seems to have amnesia when it comes to anything that's happened over the past 4 years, and it's been publicised with everything that the fact we're referred to as, mouth breathers or livestock or anything like that, and it's been published on TV. Yeah, exactly. But people don't seem to. They seem to have amnesia over everything regarding how the government treat us. I mean, I have police officer friends. I have people in certain places that give me an insight into what's happening in their world, and they many times have said they detest the British public. They detest us with passion. I mean, they hate the fact that we are cottoning on to things that they're. I mean, we are years behind their plans. We are years behind. I mean, things we find out that they're doing or have planned, we're at least 2 or 3 years behind each time. I mean, the date 2030 keeps coming up with a lot of things, a hell of a lot of things. And all I can say is just be wary for that. I mean, I've got people who are still serving now, and they've given me a bit of a heads up to say, look, just be careful what's going to happen in 2030. I mean, there's a reason why all these billionaires are building bunkers by the end of 2024.
Is that got anything to do with the theory of this Operation Looking Glass, where basically they worked out that no matter what they did, they wouldn't be able to control the situation. And in the end, we would wake up to the old idea. So they've brought all their their plans forward as fast as they can to hopefully put us into a situation where we're incapable of fighting back. But even so, the Operation Looking Glass said that no matter what they did, we would react to that. Then they would have to come down harder. Then we would come down harder, and they would end up missing out or losing out. So that could be the reason that they're getting bunkers and stuff and getting dug in, because they're expecting it all to go to shit, and they're expecting us to go off, and they're expecting that when it's all gone wrong, that in some way they're going to come out of this, or they're hoping they're going to come out of this still in control, still the rich people, and still govern, right?
Exactly. Yeah, you've hit the nail on the head. You've hit the nail on the head, and that is exactly what it is. With the amount of immigrants we've got coming to the country, it is just a matter of time. By the amount of attacks that have been happening. Yeah, the amount of attacks that have been happening on British people at the moment by illegal immigrants, which a lot of them being covered up. I mean, you're hearing a small amount, I mean, a tiny amount on mainstream media. The amount that are actually happening on a daily basis is unbelievable, but it's being covered up very well by mainstream media, and people will fight back soon. It will happen. There will be a civil war, and I think that is, once civil war comes in, martial law will come in, and that is when, in the nicest way, shit will hit the fan.
The people that dish out the licenses for you to call yourself a news agency and be able to go on air and do what you do have a scope where you are allowed to do this but not that, where you will fall out of favor, and very quickly you'll have your license or your ability to be able to broadcast pull if you don't toe the line. So when we believe that, say for instance, GB News or wherever it was came along that were going to be actually giving us the news, we were deluded. They were never, if they were going to be honest, they go, right, for the last 40 years, we've had a demographic of people systematically go after white girls and Sikh girls because they're racist and rape fuck out of them and sell them as sex slaves, right? For the last 40 years, your government has been actively working about turning you back into an incredibly poor person that doesn't have the capability of owning a house, that will work for fucking chicken feed and will eat the worst possible food, and they won't be able to afford to run a car, and that you'll all be walking around like drones, like something out of, I can say, for instance, 1960s communist Russia. And this is our plan for you because we fucking hate you. We want to rob you of everything, and we want to treat you like livestock, because the people that have come up with this idea see us as subhuman. They come from a different religion, right? Now we've got one religion, right, which fucking hates us, which governs and rules banking and all the rest of it. And they come up with these plans to bring another religion in here as a Trojan horse to fucking destroy our society. Why?
Exactly. Because it's a case of destroying us from the. It is. You're right. It's destroying us from within. But behind all this, we've also had the World Economic Forum, which are never published on TV. I never in my years of living. How many people did you ask
about that? Because I said, "Have you heard about the World Economic Forum?" Like, no. I said,
"No, mate. Honestly, same." I spoke to them. Oh, you've heard of the WEF? And they're like, "Who?"
Well,
I'm like,
"It's like, have you heard of an NGO?"
Forum?
No. Okay. Have you heard about you'll have nothing and be happy? No. Have you heard about Klaus Schwab?
Exactly.
No. Right.
Exactly. I've had the same. I've had this. Literally, it's like talking to a brick wall. They are literally complete because it's never been published.
It's like 15
Why
minute
hasn't
cities.
the World Economic Forum ever been on mainstream media? Why? Why?
Because there only a few people are supposed to hear about this. That's you, that's me, and the people that are watching this, right? And then we're supposed to fall out with all the other sheep, right, and cause divide. That's how it's meant to work. So they tell enough people what they're going to do. We pick up on it and go try and tell the others who now think we're nuts, don't believe us, or hate us, right? And this is it. So it's all about divide, isn't it? And when you go and tell a black person that white people hate him, and then you go and tell, say, for instance, an Indian person that they've been oppressed, and you carry on whispering in the ears of all these different groups that all these other people hate them. I can think of a group that do that, right? But do you remember the little twat at school, the sniveling little wanker that used to spread shit? Yeah. Same people, right? But these people do it on a massive level, and they turn everybody on each other, right? Now,
what's divide and conquer?
Why
it's divide and conquer. I mean, that is the basics of any sort of takeover.
Now, why did we need to have all these people come to our country? Now, the bullshit that we were given was these people have suffered war. You wouldn't want to see them suffer, would you? But actually, I couldn't give a fuck. Seriously? When they're outside my country, what they do in another country, whether they live, die, or otherwise, I don't care. I have no needs to care about these fuckers, because I know one way, that if this was their country and I was from where they were and I asked for their help, they'd have told me to get fucked. So why should I care a shit? And when you try and tell me that I'm a bad person, I don't care, right? I don't have any love for these people that don't have my culture, that don't share my thoughts and my feelings. Oh, but you're not, because you're all these lefties. I want to go around the world and hug the fucking place. Fuck off and hug it then.
Mate, we had this, right? So in Afghanistan, we had people. So when I came back from Afghanistan, when I was still serving with the army, we had people spitting us in the public. Yeah, calling us baby killers and so on and so forth.
Just like they did with over in America when they came back from Vietnam.
Yeah, exactly the same thing. We had that when we came back from Afghan. And I'll never forget it. Never forget it. And they were saying, you need to stop them with love. And I said, how? And they said, well, you need to go up to them and stop them and hug them.
Fuck
off. I said, but these people are wearing fucking S-vests.
These people were brought up from the moment they could fucking speak and walk to hate you, right? That's how it is. I mean, have you seen them over in China, right? They've got kids sat there at school learning how to strip down a fucking Glock and put it back together, right? You got people over in the Middle East.
I've seen it. I've seen it.
And the people in the Middle East, these kids, and they're learning how to fucking stab stuff and fucking mutilate and kill shit. They've been indoctrinated by their shower shit to fucking hate us. So you can't teach these people anything. You can't love them. You can't. The only thing they understand is power. And I have to put that in the nicest possible word, but you know exactly what I mean, right?
I do. I understand exactly what you mean.
Right. The only thing a bully understands
it's like the UK government, though. It's like the UK government, though. The only people seem to think that with the UK government, and I've seen it. I've worked for the government, so I understand. I technically work for the Home Office now, so I'm licensed and everything through them. But people seem to think that protesting and demonstrating and petitions and writing a letter to your MP will actually do something, when in reality, people need to realize that that only works in a democratic society.
Yeah.
We are not in a democratic society. We are under tyrannical regime.
Yep.
Plain and simple.
We live under the illusion of democracy, as does America.
Yeah, it is a great illusion. I mean, they're doing a great job of it. They are doing a great job of it. I mean, if at the end of the day, if democracy comes down to voting, if voting honestly carried any power, they wouldn't allow us to do it.
When you look at the last election in America, right? That was testing the water to see how far they could push people, right? Right.
Exactly.
We've taken away the legally voted man who actually wasn't going to do anything anyway, because he kisses a wall in Israel, and that fucking tells me everything I need to know, right? But the fact that he was democratically voted in and they managed to bollocks the vote, that was just to see how far they could push the Americans. Now they know the Americans will take anything, right? Over here, it's a lot more subtly done, right? I mean, what is it? If people like fucking Sadiq Khan gets in with 120% of the vote, I mean, yeah, well done. But we don't have democracy. The only thing protests do is confirm to other people they're not on their own. And you get to network with a few people and you realize you're not going mental. But
exactly that.
The other thing is, I've seen a lot of politicians go, oh, they've come around to people's houses, other politicians. We shouldn't have to tolerate this. We shouldn't have to put up with it. And my message to you as a politician, if you're listening to this, you're lucky you still have the privileges you do. Because in many other countries, right, when it starts to go like this, you're the first victims. Now, while I don't condone anything happening to you, just accept the fact that you live in a country where you can shit all over the population and they will try and deal with it in legal means.
Well, they can't, and that's the point. I mean, you hit the nail on the head again on that one, is they can't. Why do you think, if you remember, not long back, they actually announced on all the mainstream media how much their security teams that they're now issuing to MPs?
My heart
left, right, and
bleeds
centre.
purple.
I mean, why would you need that sort of level of security that the MPs have got if you are loved and you're doing the right thing?
Gaddafi, how much security did he need, mate, driving around?
He didn't. He was driven around in
a sunroof in the top of a fucking Humvee, wasn't he? Right?
Exactly. And yet the UK government deemed him a terror threat, and he was a nasty man, evil, right? But he had no security. He had a driver and him. That was it.
You know why? Because at the end of the day, right, he said to everybody in his country, you will all be housed before my mother. If you want to get married, I'll help you. If you want to have kids, I'll help you. If you want to get trained at university, and we haven't got that course here, I will pay for you to go around the world and do it. And incidentally, I now want to trade in the gold dealer, not in the petrodollar. That was it. Because the greedy globalists, we know who they are, people who tell us that oil is in a massive shortage, because the person that came out and said that first, Rockefeller, and managed to get the word fossil fuel put into the psyche, right? Because everybody believes it comes from fossils. Well, the lowest fossil that was found was 16,000 feet. They're drilling for oil 20 years ago at 2 miles deep. There's no fossils down there. So that's a work of fiction. So at the moment, we think there's only so much oil, but apparently there's oil is the second biggest quantity of stuff in the world, right? The first is obviously water. Now, I've also heard that they capped off wells 20 years ago, and then all of a sudden these wells are leaking because they filled up with oil. How did that happen? That's what I want to know. But
it's constantly, it's a constant. I mean, people seem to think that we've got the oil that we have in this world, and that's all we have, but not knowing that it's a constantly occurring thing.
Yeah, exactly.
That it's constantly replenishing itself, and this is what makes me laugh. It really does. But if it's said on the news and on TV by some man or a woman, then it must be true.
Well, and also when you start to dumb people down as they wanted to do, because from the beginning they realized that we can't keep these people on the level of education, otherwise we're fucked. So we'll dumb the cunts down so they're dumb enough to follow all the rules and do whatever we want, but not clever enough to question what we're doing. So, and here we are 100 years later, 120 years later, and we're still paying through the arse end for gas, for oil, and all the rest of it, right? And why is it that this 1% of people own everything within the world and we have to pay them? How does that work out?
Exactly.
Why is it
exactly that?
Say, for instance, a bunch of Jewish bankers, the Rothschilds, own 500 trillion, right? And yet some countries, and who is, incidentally, why is every country's in debt to banking? What banking? Oh, I wonder. Who owns the banks? You know, why is it BlackRock dictates
you took the words out of my mouth. I was about to say the same. I was about to mention about BlackRock, but you carry on, please, sir.
BlackRock, why is it that it dictates to all these different TVs and social medias about you must be more and more degenerate and push kids having their bits chopped off and degeneracy of all sorts, and put people like Sam Smith in the forefront of things, right? While they're trying to push devil worship and all that kind of shit, right? And if you don't, we'll blacklist your credit.
Yeah,
we're in the end times here.
It's aiming towards the Chinese system of the social credit score. Let's be honest, that's the way it's going. Yeah. Once they have digital currency in, once they have to get digital currency in before they do anything else. Anything else. Once that's in, that is when the shit will hit the fan.
So they've got
digital currency, then social credit score coming, then 15-minute cities, then everything else.
they got these plans in place, but unfortunately, it's not going according to plan at the moment. Not everything is, and I'm kind of
It's not.
hoping that that at some point that it goes really awry. Because what they'll do is they're one of these people that the ones that are pushing this is if we can't get our own way, everybody dies. That's where we are, right? You know, anybody who decides that if one country launches a missile at us, we'll hit all these other countries who haven't done a thing, by the way. And this is our project that basically anybody comes near us, we will kill everybody. That way you have to protect us. That's not an ally.
Yeah.
That's a bully, right?
Exactly.
And I have to say,
it's a cry bully. It's a cry bully, as they're known.
it reaches out and it hits you as it cries and screams out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, but at the moment, it's not going well over there. So I will be interested to know just how badly it goes. But I have to say, I don't have any love for any of those sides out there in the Middle East. And to be honest, I just sit back and I wish we'd had nothing to do with these cunts ever.
I know, but look who's running the country. That's all I'm going to say. Look at England, Scotland, and Wales. Look who's running them.
A person of a different color who isn't indigenous to our country. That's not by chance.
Exactly.
That's not by happenstance, right? That is a plan, right?
It is.
And the thing is, right, at some point, when it all goes a bit peaked on, they'll cry that we're being racist and we're being this and we'll be that. And when we stop caring, they're going to lose control. When they lose control, it's going to be the Wild West.
If they carry on pushing, like I actually put a meme up about this the other day. If people are working their jobs and getting second jobs to try and pay their bills and everything, and the way the government keeps pushing everything with taxes, fuel duty, which is 55% at the moment of whatever you're paying per litre, they keep pushing it. People aren't, when they go to work, they're not be able to afford to pay anything. So they're not going to go to work anymore because it's pointless. And at that point, they've got nothing to lose.
Right.
And it's at that point.
Right, I'm just going to read this out. The US Air Force KC-135R aerial refueling tanker over Iraq now is squawking 7700 on its transponder, possibly indicating some kind of emergency. And then we've got breaking: Israel has just hit Lebanon.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, great. I mean, I'm waiting for this Iran-Israel thing to kick off, because once that happens, that is when the shit hits the fan, because at the end of the day, the US are going to get involved. We are an ally of the US. We're going to get involved. And at the moment, the amount of Muslims in this country at the moment, they are going to literally go absolutely ballistic. Look how crazy they've gone over what's happening at the moment with Gaza. If Israel and Iran and we and the US get involved, we have got a full army of Muslim immigrants in this country that are going to turn on us in an instant.
I don't know what you're on about. They're all happy-go-lucky, aren't they?
Oh yeah, it's a peaceful religion. It's all about love.
Yeah, the religion.
Like there's two cyclists that went through Iraq and that and got caught by ISIS. They were killed with love, obviously, not knives. Love.
Yeah. Yeah, I just check it because I can't see it at the moment. Have I even? Oh, there we are. So yeah, I'm trying to find my channel and how we're doing, and I can't even basically see my own channel, and I'm subscribed to my own channel. I gotta love that. We're
mate. So I will be honestly the amount from what I've said, and that how YouTube are censoring everything you say, and how if I haven't got you censored just by what I've said,
yeah,
as a general member of the public, I will be amazed.
Less of
but at the end of the day, it speaks volumes. Is it all cocked up? Is it on your end, or you're all right?
No, it's all good. What it is, I've got my friends in Discord that are helping me out with stuff. Right, yeah. And here we go. Iran's supreme leader Ali, always a beautiful British name, not quite. Kamazal, or whatever his fucking name is. And this is his words: the malicious Zionist regime will be punished. Oh, it is going off. Right, Iran's supreme leader, whatever his chops is, has vowed that Israel's malicious Zionist regime will be punished following Iran's launch of drone attacks against Israel. On the video, whatever his chap said, pretty much it just goes back over what he just said. Yeah, it's going off beautifully over there. So, which is nice.
But the problem is though, because it's Muslim, because it's Islam faith, whatever happens over there will affect us in the UK.
Without a doubt.
Yep, every single time. I'm probably breaking loads of NDAs on this one as well. So we've got a load of troops at the moment over on the border of Iran and Russia at the moment, because they already know what's going to happen. The ones on the border of Russia is to stop Russia from getting involved in anything that happens with Iran, because this got declared about 2 months, maybe 3 months ago, that we were going to go to war with Iran. And they have been waiting for Iran to basically pipe up and get involved, which I foretold, and it has actually happened. But yeah, so we have a lot of troops at the moment because we got told it was a NATO training exercise.
Right.
With the British troops being deployed. It's not. So they are literally positioned at the moment on the borders of, so they're in Poland, Slovakia, and Finland at the moment. To stop Russia getting involved with the war that we're going to declare with America on Iran. And this is from about 3 months ago. I did tell GB News about this, but they, again, didn't want to know about it. Yeah, so that is what is happening on that line of things. And once the Iran war kicks off, from what I've been told, because I've still got people in military intelligence, nuclear weapons are going to be used. I don't know what the targets are, but I know they are going to get
They've got
used.
nuclear weapons on small missiles on side of boats and stuff like that. So nuclear tip stuff.
Yeah, they're called ICBMs. They're called, but they do. So it's an intercontinental ballistic missile, and they've got.
Yeah, we're not talking about those though. The things they're going to use are going to be incredibly short range, small yield stuff. The sort of thing.
They're called they're called thermobarics, and they were using them on us because I was over in Ukraine when the war kicked off, and Russia was using thermobarics on us in Kyiv and on the outskirts. Obviously, it doesn't do damage like you would expect a nuke to do. It does. It does the opposite on.
That's why they call it small yield. It's very concentrated.
Yeah,
and it
does. And it sucks the oxygen out of the area and kills people, but doesn't damage the infrastructure. And that's what they'll end up using.
Anyway, the old China, I suppose I better try and get some more other people on before I wrap it
up.
Man.
Yeah. So I've been chatting to you for ages now, and I do apologise. I mean, I've got so much stuff. Hey, if you've got my number. If you ever want to hit me up again for anything, and I'll go a bit more in depth with you, obviously off air, with stuff I know. Yeah, feel free.
All right, buddy. No worries. Will you take it steady and cheers for calling in? All right.
Hey, no problem at all. Carry on doing what you're doing, man. And yeah, you've got all of us on the armed forces side, anyone on your side, all right?
All right, cheers, buddy. See you in a bit. Bye-bye.
Take it easy.
I need a beer. I need chocolate, actually. Hello, Welsh bloke. How are you?
Hello, Simon. That last call was depressing.
I was going to say, we're going to try and be a bit more upbeat. What have you got?
Well, I've got an insane story out of Nigeria that's been covered by both the New York Post and Count Dankula.
Okay.
A pregnant mother of three in Nigeria is facing up to 3 years in prison and being sued millions and millions of pounds because she criticized a brand of tomato puree on social media. I mean that's just, you think it's one of these Onion stories, but it isn't. And she. Funny, but according to the story in the New York Post, the usual brand of tomato puree wasn't in stock, so she got another brand instead, and then complained on social media that this brand of tomato puree was too sweet and sugary. And then a week later, plainclothes policemen arrested her after she left church, and she was in a prison cell for 18 hours while pregnant with 3 other kids. She couldn't sit down, she couldn't lie down because the conditions were so poor. And now she's facing years in prison, and the tomato puree company is suing her for millions of dollars for reputational damage. All because she said she didn't like a brand of tomato puree on social media. And I'm just wondering, how long it'll be before, Tesco or Waitrose start having people sent to prison for criticising their products or their services.
Where the fuck do you start with this? I mean, well, it's different news. I'll give you that. Sent to prison for kicking off about tomato puree. No, I'm still trying to No, it's not happening. No, I'm struggling. Well, anyway, is there any other news that I could probably get my head around? Because that's just fucked up. That is.
I don't think I can top that.
No, it was quite a fucking job, I'll be honest. What do you reckon about it all going off over in the Middle East at the moment? Israel says it has launched a drone attack. There you go. So that's going off. Iran has launched drones at Israel. Just sounds like a bit of a bad day. It's like a fucking Saturday night on the piss, isn't it, in Western Superman?
Yeah, I mean, the phrase "no plan survives contact with the enemy" comes to mind. The people in charge, they want a quote-unquote limited nuclear war. But it isn't going to be a limited nuclear war. As soon as that first bomb goes off, it's game over for all of us. I mean, what else can I add to that?
Well, it's up to me. A lot, have you had a good day today?
Yeah, I had a good day. Managed to go out and about. I watched Civil War this evening.
Oh, nice, upbeat, happy, light-hearted something to watch. Have you watched 1984 if you want to pick me up?
I've got a 1984 on DVD. I've even read 1984.
Yeah, Usually I used to watch stuff like, I don't know, Smokey and the Bandit, Convoy or something like that back in the old days. Maybe even a bit of, was it Four Weddings and a Funeral if you want a nice one. But I think we're back in 1984. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Are you drinking tonight?
No, I don't drink.
Must be
not
me.
to offend people who like a tipple, but I've never seen the appeal of it.
Don't worry, I'll drink on your behalf.
And now with my cardiomyopathy, I can't even risk it, even if I wanted to.
Don't worry. As a friend, I will perform that function for you, and I'll drink to excess on your behalf.
Thank you.
So,
yeah,
I'm going to see if there's another caller that'll come on that can top that.
Yeah,
last.
Thanks for having me on, Rev.
It's always an absolute pleasure.
I'll speak to you again, hopefully.
No worries. You take it steady, all right?
You too. God bless.
All
Bye.
right, bye-bye. Good evening, the Happy Channel. How can I help?
Hello, Simon.
Oh, thank fucking upbeat person. How are you doing, mate?
I'm all right, mate. I'm just going to have a fucking rant, that's all.
Go on, son.
I'm fucking sick to death of the fucking bellends that are fucking burying their heads in the sand and not seeing what the fucking hell's going on. I'm fucking sick of it. I can't even speak to the pricks anymore.
Yeah.
My wife said to me this morning when I got up, I was shouting twats in my sleep last night. I fucking had enough.
Mate,
the fucking skies are fucking hell. I got up this morning like the fucking world was going to end.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm fucking absolutely fucking sick of it.
So, I did wonder. It did look quite lovely, and all of a sudden, not. Yeah.
I was watching you this morning in your car driving around on Discord, and it looked lovely where you were, and it looked like the fucking world had ended.
Yeah, well, it was lovely, and then all of a sudden, it wasn't lovely. But yeah, fuck it. So, what is your take on what's going on over in Israel and Iran at the moment? Just more neighborly love?
I think they're fucked now. I think they're fucked. I mean, they've already got a fucking military in this country, haven't they? I just think they're fucked. I think there's going to be fucking absolute fucking murder now.
See, I'm not too up on me drones, but you know, it's not like somebody with a fucking a little thing that will fly. These things go quite a distance now, don't they? And they can carry quite a lot. So yeah, should be interesting. Keep your eye on that over the weekend. But it's not
there's never anything fucking happy, is there? Never anything. It's all fucking shit all the time. Sorry for swearing, Simon.
No, you crack on. Was it 1962 when they had that the Cuban Missile Crisis? Was that 62 or 63?
I'm not sure. It was early 60s.
Anyway, they all thought they were going to go to work, finish work Friday night and not actually be able to make it back to work on Monday because they thought they were all going to get toasted. I don't think we've got that worry, but this isn't good. And
no, it's not good. And it's the people that's come over here on their fucking dinghies. I think they'll probably rise up soon. They'll kick off.
More likely, but I've got to be honest. I mean, if they fucking shit over there, you smell it here, don't you? That's the thing.
Yeah, fucking hell. And look who's running all these people that running the countries. They're all bellends, aren't they? All they're after about is lining their own pockets. They don't give a shit about the people.
Weapons grade, Zionist loving, fucking subgraded
assholes.
Cogs.
Yeah, they are. Do you know what? I feel you made me smile before. You were talking about that fucking Datsun Sunny sinking in the sea. That was the first time I smiled all weekend.
It was a beautiful moment, mate. I wish I could actually.
I'd have done the same as well.
Right.
It's a pity we didn't have fucking camera phones then.
Yeah, literally the red Datsun Sunny with a bunch of these cunts jumping around the fucking thing, off out to sea with a shiny fucking snot box fucking thing on the rear shelf. My heart bleed purple piss.
Fucking twats. Do you not think though, Simon, all this shit that's going on, we know it's a plan. Do you not think it's very clever what we've done?
You can't ever say that. You would never ever say these people were stupid at all.
No. I mean, you know, I spoke to you a couple of weeks ago. I do the vitamins and I spoke to you about the fucking what was it? 16% of potatoes planted this year because you can't get the rest in the ground because the ground's fucking sodden. They're fucked. They fucked us over. They fucked us.
There are parts of the country that are geared up for this. That are like, because I mean, the farm I've been going to, I'm looking at it, I'm like, that ground's fucking waterlogged. They went, yeah, it is every year. And I'm like, right. And what they do is they take the stuff that goes into that particular ground is the stuff that thrives on that. So, I mean, this stuff is, what was it they feed the cattle that they're, it's not beet. What was it? Anyway, it'll come to me. Anyway,
I know what Bill Gates wants to fucking feed him.
Yeah, he wants us.
He's another twat as well. Sorry,
bless his heart. Yeah, I mean, this was a bloke. Probably a bad idea to go here, but anyway, we'll do it anyway. This was a bloke, right, that invented computers, then invented a virus, right, and then invented a cure for the virus, right?
Yeah,
computers we're talking about here, okay. And then later on down the road, he gets into other things and makes cures for other things. I'll leave that there. That's just where I'm going to leave that one.
He's just a twat. I'll tell you what else I've noticed as well over the past couple of weeks. We're getting loads of them huge mosquitoes. It's the wrong time of the year.
Well, they've probably got sick and tired of the weather up in Scotland and fucked off down here because that's the size of the pricks up there. Or maybe, right, like the rest of the fucking people, they've got themselves a bus card or a fucking train card and they've all got on the fucking train and piled down. I don't know. But
that fucking useless, whatever his name is, that fucking Mohammed useless, right? He's fucked that country up.
Even a mosquito's got standards. Maybe they can't stand the fucking noise of the cunt and they decide to come to England. Either way. I mean,
absolute fucking twats. Sorry.
when you put the news on, or in my case, because I don't actually put the news on, I put on fucking YouTube, and you get to hear about it. You're like, bad news, depression, doom and gloom, utter shit, motorbikes, utter shit, doom and gloom, lunatics, Mark II escort. That's pretty much where we are, right? And I can't. We've got to realize that after all of this, right, all this doom and gloom here, there's a world out there that's actually quite pretty, right? And we need to go out and just fucking every now and again just switch off and enjoy that, right? Come back to doing what you're doing most of the time, but do have 5 minutes off and go out and enjoy it.
Yeah, I do. I enjoy myself. I go out for a blast in my car, go around and make as much noise as I can and fucking enjoy myself and then chill out.
Yeah, I made a bit of noise in that thing earlier on. Not too much. But yeah.
I know. You know, there was a guy before talking about he was a trucker and he was on about lunatics driving. I thought, fucking hell, I seen someone this morning with the roof down.
Yeah, apparently he's a real cunt. Anyway, I'm going to get on to the next one, you old China. So I'll catch you on the flip
Right,
flop.
Si.
All right, mate.
I'll speak to you soon. Cheers, pal. Ta-ra, mate. Ta-ra, ta-ra.
Right, what time are we going on till? Might be another call then. Hello. Hello.
Hello again, Simon. It's me again.
Hello. No worries. Have you got the live stream still playing in the background?
I have, mate. I just turned it right. I've turned it right down.
No worries. All right.
Cool. Right. So this time, I've actually listened to the conversations and I've made some notes.
Go on.
Well, not notes, but just like things like points to talk about, sort of thing. You know.
Yeah.
And so the alternatives to Labour Conservative sort of thing, the Reform Party are way out, as we both know.
Mm.
So the SDP,
right.
William Coulson, what's your views on what he's got to say and all that sort of stuff?
What SDP was that? What was that used to be? Social Democratic Party?
That's the ones. Yeah. It sounds a lot like National Socialism to me, a little bit, but we don't want to go there.
But they used to be the SDLP, didn't they?
Yeah.
Because that was the two parties come together, wasn't it? I think the SDLP. Yeah, they're a nothing burger, and they've been around that long that they've never achieved fuck all. They're never going to achieve fuck all. So no. Any other parties?
Well, like me myself, like looking at their actual manifesto and all that sort of stuff, and all of their promises and all that sort of stuff, it does seem to be a sort of like a more favourable opinion to what the Reform Party have.
Well, how long have they been about?
Dude, honestly, I have no idea. Really, I do not have a clue.
What might be an idea is to find out what their manifesto is now. Go back 10 years ago, see what their manifesto was then. Go back 10 years before that, see what their manifesto, because they've been about a while, and see if they've hold some like integrity about their beliefs, or whether they flip-flopped just trying to gain votes. Because what I do know about sort of Labour would go against the complete opposite usually of what Conservative wanted, and Liberal Democrats' policy was find out what the others are doing and just do something different, and that was a policy. Seriously. So it's like, fucking mental. But there it is. Nice hair, by the way. Sorry, I just Brody at the moment is just taking his hat off. Anyway,
I thought you were talking to me. I've got no hair.
What we've got at the moment, because I'm in Discord, they're getting their hair out and having a contest of who's got the most fucked up hair. I think Alan's winning it. But yeah. Anyway, sorry, that really took me off my track. Cheers for your help there. Yeah. Yeah. But no, at the moment, as I say, the only person that I can think of is David Curtin. I can't see anything else. And it's a real pisser, because you would think that we'd have a lot, but I'm going to go down the Nazi road here, right? Which is always a good idea when you're on a live stream, right?
Oh, yeah.
whether you like him or not, and obviously most people don't for the right reasons, he realized that there were so many political parties there that none were ever going to achieve anything, and all of them had been infiltrated, and all of them were bad, basically. And that's when he took over and decided that you would wipe out any chance of you being able to vote for any of the others so that he could get something done. I'm no fan of Hitler, but I would say that the country was on its knees at the time, and the politics was completely...
he sort of like spoke to the masses sort of thing.
Well, what do we have over here at the moment? We've got politics that don't serve its people. The political system is controlled. The legal system is controlled. And all the other systems are controlled. Now, if that is the case, what are we living in? You know? So, and I'm not suggesting anybody comes along like Hitler and does anything like him. Not at all. Right? But I am saying that he saw the problem.
But the mad thing is, mate, it's like the more we get pushed towards extremism, the more extremism is going to flourish.
Right. We're not being pushed towards extremism, right? That is to say that none of us have any extremist views.
No, fucking no, fucking God, no.
So we're not susceptible to being pushed towards extremism, right?
Because we all have our own brains and we can think for ourselves.
What we're doing is, as the political landscape changes and they become more extreme left wing, that as we keep talking about common sense values, we will be labeled as extreme. We'll be labeled as far right. Now, there was a clip here from earlier on over in Australia, and the guy was saying that basically we're not sure the motives, but, and then went straight over to, this happened over in, we all thought it was going to be there was a shooting. We all thought it was going to be from Islam, and it turned out to be Anders Breivik, who was a far right. And they're always trying to get the far right bit in there, right? Is our biggest threat is coming from far right terrorism. They're scared fucking shitless of the right. They're scared of people who are going to not put up with their bullshit. So they've got to label us.
That's why Joe Biden's going, the biggest threat to democracy right now is the far right extremism.
No, the biggest threat to democracy at the moment is the state, the government. And the biggest threat to them is the right, who they wanted to keep their guns because they realized that it said within the Constitution that the reason you're there to have your guns and to bear arms is that when the political system goes wrong, you are there to remove it and replace it with a political system that works. They're dressed like fucking terrorists now in my fucking... Alan looks like he's about to do a speech on behalf of Hamas, right? Alan, any words? Was it you flying that fucking drone? Oh my God, you'd have to see this, but it is quite a picture.
Yeah,
it's just what I need. This is that's the management. My management, right in here, seriously looks like a fucking terrorist. You'd have to see it. Nice shirt, very dapper. Do you know when I eventually end up getting a panel where we're all going to be around the table? Can you imagine Hamas sat down the end there saying nothing? Actually, I had the guy on a live stream before, and he said nothing. He looked like this, and these other people coming triggered as fucking started arguing with him. He just said nothing.
Oh, mess, right? It's like slightly on a tangent and all that sort of stuff. But he's saying about like Hamas and all that sort of stuff, and the kind of the religious thing. I'm being more and more drawn into the faith. If you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm more of a, and I can't even get words, an agnostic, but I am really being drawn back into the faith, you know, from when we used to pray in assembly in primary school and secondary school and all that sort of stuff. I am like finding myself more and more sort of like, not like because it's an other or nothing like that. It's kind of like you've got no other sort of anchor, but to be like drawn back into Christianity, you know?
Well, I'm going back that way. Does anybody, by the way, does anybody want a conversation with us after this in Discord? If they do, we can put a link out. Can't we, Father Hammers? Yeah, lovely. But yeah, so I was just thinking that after this, because there's probably a lot of people that actually got questions of their own that want to come in and have a chat. So, but yeah, I'm going back to my faith, but I'm not going to the corrupted version of the Bible. I'm
No,
not
God,
going.
oh my God, hell no.
I'm
No,
not,
no,
I'm
no,
not
no.
going to the everything's owned by fucking Israel or whatever it is, and you know you're all just good followers. Fuck that shit, right? No, I'm going to the early version. But there you are. That's me. Yeah.
Like today, I had going back to my whole like army thing and all that type of stuff. I spoke to my padre today, and I was like expressing my views and all that sort of stuff, and he was like, right, well, if that's how you feel, you know what I mean, and like that the Lord is your calling, he was like, it's open arms, he was like, there's no like kind of like prejudice, not like prejudice, it's like God man, what the my words are getting all cuffled in my mouth.
Are you having a mucking fuddle?
Yes, exactly that.
He says
Jim
you must
Davidson
be Justin
special.
Folk, and I said they're not mucking fudge. Yes, yes, I get it.
Yeah, well, he was like, I completely understand where you come from, sort of thing, and how you feel in this way. And it wasn't like sort of like a evangelistic sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It was sort of like a man-to-man sort of conversation. And he was like, I completely get what you're doing. He was like, I really do. And he was like, right, he was like, if you want to talk, we'll talk, sort of thing. And I'm gonna set that up, and I'm gonna have like, not like a, like I said, like a pious sort of meeting or nothing like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's gonna be a good thing, and I think I'm like rediscovering my faith, in Christianity. I know this channel isn't like an evangelical sort of thing or nothing like that. That's, well, I don't know if that's what you're all about and all that sort of stuff, but that's just the way I'm feeling right now,
I'm about common sense and traditional British values, and a lot of our British values were built around Christianity. Fuck me, even Alan's holding up a cross. Now he's got rid of the Hamas, but he hasn't got rid of the Hamas name. Have you, Alan? There you go. Beautiful. Anyway, right. I'm gonna get on to the next call of the old China. Call in again, and we'll go through some more things. But yeah, when times, what was it they said in a foxhole? How many people turn to Christ, or how many people pray?
Everyone.
Yeah, there you go. But
everyone does.
We've got a lot of decent atheists in here, and I'm not going to push it down their throat. They'll either come to it or they won't. But one way or another, we'll all be marching under the banner of Christianity, even if you're an atheist at some point in the future.
Right, Simon, salute. Big, massive props to you, mate.
No worries, mate.
I know it's way past about time.
Well, that turned interesting at the very end of it. Not quite sure what went wrong there. Beatings is in. Oh, nice. Right. Do I wrap it up now? It's 11 o'clock. Probably. Oh, he says that, and I get cool. Hello.
Oh, that's fine.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Yeah. I was wondering whether you've heard about these corduroy pillows.
Oh, I've got to hear about this. Go on.
No, we've been making the headlines.
Go on. Oh, bless. So anyway, I have no idea who that was, but what I will say is I'm going to go to Discord. So the link is in the description. I'll probably pull that down now. And I will say thank you very much for everybody who's watching. We're on 1,228 between all the channels, so we've done well. And I'm trying to work out now, is it actually bringing in the view count from Facebook? I don't know. Or maybe it is bringing the view count in from YouTube. Not YouTube, Twitter. I don't know. But I will say thank you to everybody who's called in. I'm going to go over now to Discord. So if you want to get in there, the link is, 1 minute, I'll get a link. It says invite people. Copy. I'll put the link in there, paste. And I'm literally going over there as soon as I end this. So if you want to have a chat, I'll be in there having a beer, and then I'm going to get some chocolate biscuits and chill out. So I'll see you in the congregation. Anyway, thanks for everybody who's come on and watched. Thanks for everybody who's rang in. Thanks for everybody else who's helped out. And I'll see you over there in a bit.